What's up, chicken butts? Hello to all, and to all, good night. It's been fun, but has it been real fun? That is the question that we will talk about today. I have a guest with me today for the Comic Book Babylon. It's going to be fun. And now I'll bring on my guest. His name is Spider-Man, a.k.a. Peter Parker. You got to bring him back to me. Give him the Mary Jane kiss. Anywho's, welcome to the Comic Book Babylon. My name is Nick.
Oh.
And it's already weird.
Huh?
I forgot my coffee.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Look, here's the thing. We've been discussing this. You're addicted to coffee. I'm not addicted to coffee. What I am addicted to is nothing. But as soon as I'm done with one, I just immediately crave another. And that's okay. It's okay. So tonight, we're going to talk about all wonderful things. Specifically, what was it? The comic book spec market. Is it dead? Do comic books actually matter? Do people actually care about comic books? What's up, Dan? Can you have a blue wrench? Yes, we can get you a blue wrench. Dustin, what size? You a 10 millimeter guy, or are you more?
Dan's a 9/16. Like he's
9/16.
Universal.
He's more.
I feel like a 9/16. I feel like a 9/16 is definitely more used.
Right on. What's up, Kyle? Try crack. What's up, Brian? So yeah, we hung out with Brian for all of 5 minutes today.
I saw this TikTok just a minute ago. It said, name one thing white people cook better than anybody else. This guy's sitting in the camera. He goes, crack.
Son of a bitch. All right.
That's it. Damn a metric.
Scoot over, get in here.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Guys, I bought a bunch of stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? We got it all. I bought it all. We bought good stuff. We went to 2 Comic-Cons today. There were comic book conventions. One was a little more anime-ish. One was just purely comics and toys. We have a mixture of toys. We have a mixture of comic books. I bought something that you guys have probably never seen. At least that's my hope. Because I like to be able to show off things that maybe people have never necessarily seen before. So I think that's cool. So I'm excited to show you guys that. And then hopefully at some point, Dustin's going to come back in. And there he is. And we're going to show some other things.
Do we have 50 people watching yet? Oh, no. We're not talking shit about somebody. So that's right. My bad.
It happens, Captain. All right. So what do you want to do first? Show off what we?
I guess show off stuff we picked up. We went to a couple Comic-Cons today. Well, one was a Comic-Con. I don't know what the other one would have been considered.
It's more of a comic and anime convention.
Yeah.
There was like 3 comic books.
Yeah.
But anyways, you go first because my stuff's cooler.
Okay.
I also got this, and the new Marvel Legends boxes suck. For honest, and I think since we're having a conversation, maybe we should we like sit and like focus on each other this way?
I don't know.
Like you look towards me.
I know me and Dan pretty much accidentally ignored the chat last week for the majority of the time. Same thing me and Lawrence did because you just get caught up when you have when you get caught up in good conversation, not like you and I have most of the time.
Yeah,
you just kind of get distracted.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool back there.
I picked up Super Sentai number 3. Why did I do that? Why? Because I need to rob the staples out of this damn thing. I need the staples for my Super Sentai 2. Gotta have them. And I only bought 1 book today at the con. I was actually more interested in selling some books today, which I definitely sold some books today, so that was good. But I saw this and I was like, I have to have this. I have to. It is from Brass Ball Comics, Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. What the hell are you looking down here for? Look at that. That is awesome. Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
How's the audio, by the way, guys?
Had to pick that up. I was like, you know what? For $8, I got to know what's inside there.
We sound great.
I definitely wanted to check that out. So
we sound good.
Yeah, you know, you see something neat and you're just curious of what's inside, you got to pick it up, right?
Let's see what's inside.
Huh?
Let's see what's inside. Bubba, I'll open it while you show off your next stuff. No. See,
I kind of want to save it for like a reel or something.
It's going to be like a long box queen or a short box queen where it sits in the short box and that's it.
Oh, no. When I get home, I want to make like a reel or something with it.
Read the books. Trinity, what's up, dude?
What's up, Trinity?
What's up, dude?
Trinity, you son of a bitch. So I picked up, you guys know I've been into The Walking Dead reading, and I've talked about wanting to pick up the hardcover slipcases. So today,
there we go.
Got the Rise of the Governor with the really nice slipcase. Also,
oh snap.
Also, guys, I got them.
Oh, and to be clear, I picked up the biggest book of the day.
So, you know, you got the volume 1 with the slipcases and the cool dust jackets on them. These are the Walking Dead Deluxe hardcover omnibus, and they're all black and white. I picked up volumes 1 through 4 plus the Governor book for $150. $150. What a freaking deal, man! Because these things retail $100 a piece, and I got 4. I got 4 volumes out of 6. That's good, Dan. So I got 4 out of 6 volumes for $150. I don't know what the Governor retails, but I'm interested in this Governor one because up to the point where I'm at right now, the Governor is absolutely the craziest villain I've ever read in any comic book. Oh, it's got a nice look, dude. Nice little bookmark in there. But this one has no pictures or anything. It's just a novel, so that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that.
My favorite earlier is when you're like, it's just a graphic novel.
I know.
Without graphics.
Dumb shit that ain't got no graphics.
It's fine. I knew what you were saying.
But I was really excited when Nick found those, and I was like, dude, $150 for all of them? I got to do that. I would have just been stupid not to. I was initially picking up the individual issues of the Walking Dead Deluxe reprints, but I kind of quit. I mean, I really haven't been buying new comics lately, and I wanted these anyway to put on the shelf. So I was just like, well, once I get the hardcovers, I'll pick the reading back up. Now I can pick the reading back up. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how I'm going to fit reading these in while also reading the Fantastic Four, because that's already been a struggle to get in an issue or 2 a day with the time crunch that I'm on. But I'm definitely excited to get back into some Walking Dead reading because, like I've stated many times, not a fan of the show at all, but the comic books are absolutely something that I think any comic book fan should give a try, because I've never been interested in like zombies or monsters or anything like that. Like, it's just never been something interesting to me. But these comics are absolutely wonderful reads. So I'm hoping I can get Nick to jump into them at some point.
And no aliens.
I don't think he'll ever do it, but I think if Nick did jump into it, he would enjoy it too, because it's not something
I've
I
read
thought I would.
a lot of the deluxe issues as they were coming out for a while. I want to say I read the first 15 or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
Or the energy.
I'm looking forward to it.
On top
Can't wait. And the spines are already pre-stretched. And I honestly, I didn't even check the binding on these. So the guy said he bought these for his wife and she read them, and now they were trying to get rid of them. So I'm hoping that the binding and the spines are good, but we'll see. Shh, Dan, don't tell nobody now. I ain't even released a video, bro. I recorded a video on that one, man.
All right. And so for me, is that all you picked up?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
it, man.
So I pre-ordered accidentally 3 of these. So it's the amazing fantasy.
Look at the web wings. Those
Yeah.
look terrible.
No, you shut your mouth. And they come with actually a couple of options.
Dude, he looks like he's a fly. Like he's about to just
Hey, look. You leave it alone. But anyways, this is actually my first real Spider-Man Marvel Legend. But it's pretty cool because it's the OG. So I was worried that the pre-orders were going to get canceled. So I ordered one from Target. And then I think I ordered one from Big Bad Toy Store at one point. And then reordered another one like a couple days later, hoping that they wouldn't get canceled. And didn't realize I'd already ordered, from Big Bad Toy Store twice. So that came in. Also got the biggest book of the day, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
It's a honker. It's a honker. Oh, literally. Let me look at this.
It is huge.
Did you see the camera shake? Okay, that's a hand. That's the back.
And this is
But I'm so excited to actually flip through all of this.
Yeah, that's pretty huge, dude.
Yeah.
That's every bit of 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's impressive as statue size.
I was hoping Dustin will like this. I just flipped to a random page. Would you carefully hold that side up with me? Yeah. Look at that.
Look at it. Would you just look at it?
Look at that. No, that one.
Would you just look at that?
Do you know who that is?
Oh, that's Sabretooth, dude. I got that issue.
I know.
That's one of the only Spider-Man issues I actually have is the Sabretooth one.
So I was super pumped. I'm glad to add this to my
That is what she said, Jason.
My other massive Spider-Man book collection, which I did a video on that nobody watched, but it's there.
Because maybe they don't care about the comics anymore.
Or Spider-Man. Probably just not comics, if we're honest.
Oh, you got something else over there, too.
Oh, I know. But I'm still so excited about this.
That's awesome.
So I forgot I pre-ordered this, and it showed up, and I didn't realize it was this big. I mean, there's my hand, and I have a large hand. Large. It's sizable. You know what I mean? Like, my hand's bigger than Dustin's by about 9 inches. That's the best spot for it over there.
I heard you're not proportional, but whatever.
And this is the coolest pickup of the day. I walked into the con. I wasn't going to spend a dime. No interest in spending money.
Well, while you're on Spidey, why don't you show your other Spidey pickup?
Oh, yeah. Dustin hooked me up.
So it's prints of original art. And, page number written down just like they would have done. I picked up some Fantastic Four ones.
So this is the pin-up from Spider-Man 3, I do believe.
Yeah. Page 24.
Yep. Yeah, it's the...
yeah, I know. I was just saying, like, it's cool. They wrote page 24. Like, in the Fantastic Four ones I have, and then the Captain America one, they show, like the issue number, page number. Like, you can see where, they wrote the stuff, where they took the actual original art and made these awesome prints, and they're on, like, a cardboard cardstock, so they're nice.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
My shop's got a stack of different ones. He's got a Kirby Thor I really want to get, but...
Dang.
What's up, Robert?
What's going on, everyone?
Hey, Robert. There's your bro box right there, bro.
All 3 of them.
Still sitting here.
Just waiting on... I'm just making sure DC's not going to call and be like, hey, actually... Because they canceled the program on everyone.
The one that was sent to me, it's gone. I ain't waiting for them.
But, yeah. So, it's good. I'm going to probably just...
I did tell him about your address.
So, it's good that they're still sitting there. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, this book, I walked in. It's The Hobbit from 1966. It's
23rd printing, guys.
By 1966. So it's really incredible. It's a beautiful book. I'm going to get it pressed, likely, just because it's a little bit, man. I mean, I walked in.
That's just super cool.
I had no clue it was there. But Tolkien, man, is just the best. I love everything.
Oh, that's Bilbo's house?
Yeah. It's
that's cool, dude.
The Hall of Baggin is what that's called.
Yeah.
But I want to get some of this stuff done.
Baggins of Baggin.
Yeah. But I just finished reading it a couple weeks ago.
He was a Took.
Well,
he's also Took.
Yes. But anywho's just phenomenal. I'm so happy to have this.
Yeah, that was probably definitely the coolest thing picked up all day.
And I was super thankful that, I didn't even try to bargain, but Steve Hinton over at the Spinner Rack is a phenomenal guy.
Loves
him and his wife. And he was like, his wife was like, he really don't want to sell it, but they had it up there. I'm like, well, it's going to a good home.
Yeah. And we saw like some of the old original steel in the bubble on card, Lord of the Rings from all 3 movies, the figures, those were pretty cool. And then we saw some neat stuff today.
And then we got some more stuff. This is actually courtesy of Rough Edges.
Yeah.
And
our buddy Dustin, you guys saw, he owns the Angry Girlfriend cover that everybody seems to really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's cool because every time I see it pop up on a Facebook post in a group, I always drop our video. Hey, that's my buddy's book. Here's a video of him talking about it.
We need to
go watch it.
We need to redo it where like I didn't mess up the ISO. But anyways, so we picked up Justin Birch some things, okay? Because we love Justin Birch. His birthday was recently, even though you guys don't know that. September 14th was his birthday. We sent him a Ted Lasso stand up for his birthday. It's like the life size. It's the best thing. It's on Instagram if you want to look at it. But I felt like that wasn't enough, so we picked him up some of his favorite things, some Jar Jar Binks stuff. So we got him a watch.
He damn well better wear that watch.
And then, naturally, how to get into Jar Jar Binks episode 1 fully posable figure.
That better be opened and in the case. I'll be pissed if he does not put that in his case, because that is definitely to scale with his Hot Toys.
Yes. Steel sealed, looking sharp. I mean, I'm sure somebody, when they bought this one day, they're like,
this is going to be worth a lot of money.
But yeah.
I don't get it, man, because we legit.
I do genuinely
love Jar Jar. So whatever.
No, not Justin Birch has the ASM 14X copy. Dustin.
Our buddy Dustin at Rough Edges, where we bought these.
Yeah.
So this is cool. 5-function LCD timepiece, flip top lid, and adjustable strap with a 1-year warranty. Now, is that 1 year from when they put this out, or 1 year from opening it? Is it still under warranty? That is what I need to know.
Yeah, but
it's warranted against defects, material. It doesn't say anything about when the warranty starts, though. So,
yeah, but they had the ex-girlfriend book there today, and
yeah. At this point, we've seen it so many times,
Yeah. But anywho, so if somebody,
but he also had a non-Angry Girlfriend first appearance of Green Goblin too.
I own a ASM 14. It's in grading somewhere.
Yeah, you'll see it in about 6 years.
So,
because you didn't fast track it.
Well, that batch is supposed to be fast tracked.
Bleaker, what's up, bro?
So hopefully somebody can reach out to Justin Birch. Well, we could text him and say, hey, did I do something to the internet? Nope. Not working. Okay. It's working for us.
Oh my God, it makes me so upset that all those apps are open on your phone. You're just like my wife.
Keep talking while I'm checking something.
Drives me crazy.
All right. No, dude, Jar Jar's awesome.
He is. I like Jar Jar, dude. Come on.
What's up, Perry?
What's going on?
Hey, Perry, check this out, dude. I know you just showed. Sounds good, Co. 1966 printing of The Hobbit. Bro, it is wild. No. That ex-girlfriend copy, he has it listed at like $100K.
And Jim Lee is like salivating to get it.
Yeah.
They're still in talks. We asked him today. They're still in talks about it. So
we'll see.
They're working on the deal. But he's had it for so long. Like when he bought it, it wasn't slabbed. And they got it for $40. Like he was the third owner. The original owner. Well, okay. Since it turned into the Angry Girlfriend book, he was the third owner. Because it ended. The original owner was the first one. And then the comic shop had it. And then Shane and Dustin got it for like $45, and they've had it ever since then.
Yeah. It's wild.
That's been his claim to fame. They were gonna give it to Donnie Cates to get him to show up at a Comic-Con, but Donnie, there was something else. Like they wanted Donnie to do some other stuff, and he didn't want to do it. So they were like, okay, like no big deal, dude. Like, you probably flake out by the end of the con anyway. So,
oh man, Aaron Myers was referenced. Oh, the guy, the guy, the boyfriend. Apparently, he was a terrible human being. Was like
he tried to sue Dustin and Shane to get it back.
Yeah,
like of course, you're not going to win that lawsuit, bro. Like, they bought it fair and square from a comic shop. So,
Yep.
he tried to sue him for it, but didn't work.
No.
Didn't work.
So did we get anything else? Or was it The Hobbit, the Jar Jar for Justin Birch?
That's it, dude. I think that's it.
Okay. Scoot over in here, man.
Huh?
You're like barely in frame.
Let me get on the other side.
Why?
I want to be on this side.
But this is my side.
Sorry.
I'm still taking up more of the screen.
I know, but
Ow, sunbulb.
What'd you do? Did you run your foot over?
Yes.
He ran over his foot.
See, this is dumb. We look stupid. All right. Ignore the last 30 seconds. We have to sit in the same pane so it'll focus.
I'm good. They know what I look like.
No, that looks terrible if it's not focused. It's focused on the background, not us.
Okay.
What do you mean? I'm not saying close.
All right. Let's do the show, dude. Should we hit the intro again?
Nope. This is weird. People are going to leave.
All right. So, topic of conversation for the day. We had two. Because, ever since, what should we get into first? Like, what do you guys want to get into first? The Spec is Spec dying conversation, or do people really even care about comics anymore conversation? What should we get into first?
What do you guys want to hear? Spec dead or
and again, this is just thoughts and conversation. This is not a this is how it is.
Yeah.
We don't get to make that decision.
There's Mark Ballard, Pancake Cat. What's going on, boss?
Pancake Cat is in the house. Syrup Mouse probably not, but if you guys enjoyed the Pancake Cat video, make sure you go and follow the Pancake Cat Facebook page. We're supposed to get some more content from those guys, so looking forward to that.
Very much so.
It's the first time Mark's ever actually tuned in.
He may tune in all the time and just not tell us.
Okay.
But he probably doesn't, though.
You think he was tuning in that time we were talking smack about his hair?
No, but it was funny because we were at the one con and Ryan goes, he's like, the Pancake Cat guy?
Yeah, he's like, with the big hair.
Yeah, it's big hair. Totally funny.
I think Mark is probably the only guy involved in comics whose hair could rival Jim Steranko's.
It's possible.
That's probably the best two heads of hair in comic.
But how would you know what Steranko looks like? You can't take a picture of him.
I saw him. I seen him with my eyeballs.
If you don't have a picture, does it really count? It's like if Bear Craps in the woods, does he?
Well, if you step in it the next day, yeah.
I'm not stepping in anybody's hair.
Okay.
I went down a weird path there.
I did. All right, let's
You want to talk about your stuff from this morning at the gas station? You want to talk about
that?
Oh, no. All right. Yes, Spec is dead, hurt by inflation, mediocre TV shows. No, the core reader collector still cares buys buying opportunities. So, okay, so let's talk about the Spec market and kind of what I think. So,
well, and like the reason this was something that I was thinking about talking about was because if you look at anything that has really popped Spec wise, like over the past year, I mean, like calendar year, I would say, I can't think of a single book that has played out. Not one book can I think of that has played out. And it seems like now, and it could have a lot to do with the current economy and the market, but well, the market is dictated by what people are purchasing. So it could have something to do with the economy, but it seems like people are starting to kind of smarten up to the fact that 9 times out of 10, this shit is not going to hold. It is not going to play out the way that you're thinking. The Thor books with Jane and Gore, those books, anybody that bought those books that paid like a premium price when announcements were made and stuff like that, I feel so bad for them because Chris Barrett making an entrance.
I'm not hollering, but we do hear you, Chris.
You don't get the reference, but it's Scott Steiner.
No, I do not.
Scott Steiner from like 2001. What's going on, Chris? But anybody that bought those Thor books, like, you can't give them away right now. You just can't. And there's been so much other stuff that has just completely just flattened out. And I mean, look at ASM Annual 1.
Yep.
ASM Annual 1. Everybody was hyped and looking for the Sinister Six, and we get the Spider-Man No Way Home, and it still doesn't really happen there. And that book is extremely affordable now. Look at even Ultimate Fallout 4, Edge of Spider-Verse 2. Those books are just hitting the bottom of the tank. Hitting the bottom of the tank right now.
I don't think there's been a single recession-proof or bubble-bursting book at all.
No, there's definitely not been.
I mean,
except Ghost Rider #1. That book continues to just go up and up and up,
which is wild.
For no reason. Like, that book is soaring. Marvel Spotlight 5 is kind of like this, with like a very little peak. I mean, Ghost Rider 1, it just keeps edging itself up, and I have no idea why. But yeah, it definitely does. And I'm a huge fan of that book and that character. I bought a high grade copy last year for a really, really great price, which I was excited about. But I mean, look at some of the Star Wars spec stuff that has not played out.
Dude, check this out. Look how bad this dropped. Even a 1815 was selling for over 10K at one point. Or pretty close.
ASM Annual 1's what he's looking at.
No, this is #1.
Oh, ASM #1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, last sale was 6K.
Well, that's not really a spec book, though.
No, but I'm just saying, like, some of these books that you would see.
Oh, so if you're talking like recession-proof books, then yeah, I mean, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that has continued. I mean, probably some like really big golden age stuff has went up, but if we're talking stuff that is just for the general comic book reader or collector, there really isn't. I mean, and the thing is like, GPA does not record Instagram everything sales, and if you watch Instagram sales, man, stuff is flying so cheap. I saw 2 first print Ultimate Fallout 4 9.6s sell for $1,100 last week. 2 of them. Number 9.8s selling for under 2,000 all day long.
Like, check this out. I mean, that's dropping.
How long ago was it when they was selling for $3,000? Because I know Justin Birch, right before Lexington, was terrified if he didn't buy one right then for $3,000, he wasn't going to get one cheaper. And I told him not to, and he didn't do it. But I told him, I was like, "There's no chance of this book staying at the price that it's at." It was actually hitting $4,000 at that point. There was a couple
right here
for $4,000.
So if you look, I mean, it's averaging upwards of $3,300 on average price. Upwards to $3,700. Here you had one that sold for $4,500, and I'm wondering if that was the newsstand edition, because I don't think they differentiate here. But yeah, at 1.45.
I haven't seen that newsstand for any less than like 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
That, so.
But that was back in March at the height
of this year.
Yeah, and now it's dropped to almost literally less than half, 2,100. So I mean,
and I've seen sales for that book on Instagram's platform, different places for like $1,850, something like that.
So this is a really good point, Dan, and you're man. We're gonna come back to this for sure. This right here, because that is especially after some of the reading and stuff I've done this year and really understanding. But Ultimate Fallout, like some of the biggest spec books, right? Ultimate Fallout 4 has been a massive one. Gore the God Butcher. What is that? Thor, the Jason Aaron number 2, I think.
Number 2.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, and even that, like, like Wolverine 88 is the one right now. And in 2 months, that book is going to be back in the tank, and everybody who's buying it right now for these crazy prices, like, at this, I've kind of gotten to the point now. Like, I used to feel bad for people because I'm like, they don't know any better. But at this point, if you're not paying attention enough to see what's happening to these books you're buying over and over, and you keep doing it, I can't feel bad for you anymore. But I can't think of the last book that really popped a good spec pop that happened, because and that was what made me think, like, is spec dying out? Because like I can't think of anything that has really jumped off in the last 6-8 months.
Well, and here's another aspect of it too. So we've shown a couple of examples, and if you know of like if you want us to look up GPA for the hottest spec book recently or whatever, and I've been so pulled out from it the last 8 months because of how frustrating it's been, and just how like it honestly can be so, what's the word, draining to hear people talk about acetate gate. Yeah. What's going on, Pad Bear? Yes, absolutely. And we'll talk about that too. That's awesome. All the way from Wales.
Yeah, Bleeker. That's what I was saying. The Wolverine 88. Yeah. I was like, in a few months, that book's, I don't think that, I think that that's hot right now. And by Thanksgiving, probably, a 40% drop or more. And then like that one's crazy because everybody's going nuts about the deluxe editions. I've never seen it from my personal findings. I've owned probably 10 different copies of that book because I've always thought it was cool and I wanted a 9.8. So I would buy them when I found them. And I was always getting them cheap, like 10, 15 bucks. And none of them ever hit a 9.8. So I just throw it on, a sale and, get my 10, 15, 20 bucks, whatever. But I've only ever bought the deluxe editions. That's all I've ever seen is the deluxe edition. So I'm just like, where do we find the info to find out which one is the more hard to find copy? I have no idea. But yeah, I think that Wolverine 88, it's a cool book. I think it's a cool read, but the other part of it is like, why have we gotten to the point? And I've brought this up so many times. Why we've gotten to the point in this hobby where we only base whether a book has any kind of value, not just monetary, but whether it's something you want in your collection. And I'm not saying everybody, but if from the outside looking in, for an example, my wife, she has a small understanding of the hobby, of the market and that type of thing. And, every time I would buy a book, if I spent 30, 40 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever, she'd say, like, oh, is that character going to be in a movie or a TV show? And I'm like, no. She's like, well, why'd you buy it? I'm like, because I like the fucking book. Like, I like the character. Yeah. Like, why has it gotten to the point where we only put value in these characters or in these books if there's a chance of a TV show or a movie? Like, where is the love? And this kind of ties both conversations in together. Yeah. Like, where's the love for the characters, for the stories, for the art, like for the comic books? Like it's just crazy to me.
So one other point I want to hit before we kind of go into the comic book industry, but what I'm thinking is a massive issue and kind of relevant to that is people just don't read, like the collectors, quote unquote, like pure collectors. They don't ever actually pick up and read. I'm not saying all of them, right? This isn't a all inclusive statement here, but I would assume more than half of the folks buying and flipping and collecting comic books or whatever aren't doing it because they've read and loved the story or appreciate it or whatever. It's, oh man, I'm going to buy this book, or I just happen to watch this new Marvel show and now I really like that character. Let me go buy it, or whatever it may be. And I think that ties into people are losing interest into the MCU.
Yeah.
After, what was it? Phase 4 was the last one?
That's
after Infinity Saga. I don't.
That was phase 3.
Okay, so we're in phase 4.
The atrocity we are currently
in is
phase 4 that we are experiencing.
But I mean, people are losing massive interest, and it's because the stories haven't been great. Some have been good, some have not been. Their characters aren't necessarily the most popular, amongst people, but a lot of characters that they've done really well with have not been. The storytelling just has not been on the same level. They've made massive changes for the sake of whatever reason. Maybe a director thinks they know better, like Gore the God Butcher's prime example.
Well, and they're bringing in, and they've got so many people that are in charge of creating this stuff that have no knowledge of the characters in the comics. Like that's why everything Feige does himself has been so good, is because Feige has.
Whoa. I like that story. I liked it.
You didn't like the story? I thought it was a pretty cool read.
I thought it's cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
But I've also fallen in love with like all Silver Age, Bronze Age
I mean,
stories. So.
after watching the Jeffrey Dahmer show, I kind of feel like the chick that had Hulk in that room, like, was like trying to eat the Hulk. Like, she had him, you know, he's getting drugged up in there. Like, yeah, she's trying to change her brother back, but I mean, she kind of has some Dahmer stuff going on with her, you know. Plus, I like the fact that you hear mentioned multiple times of this Weapon X that they're getting ready to release, and then all of a sudden at the end, like, here's Wolverine, you know. Oh no, I'm thinking 180. I've never read 181. I'm thinking 180. 180 is a good story. I like 181's
good. That's where they fight.
I know. I didn't read that one.
And what's even cooler, so
I only cared about his first appearance.
So, and if you really weren't a fan of that, what I'll tell you, not in your mint, is later on there's a giant-sized Wolverine versus Hulk, and they fight. And there's a super here. Scoot your mouse over your way. No, I was trying to take the mouse. I just didn't want you. It just felt weird. But there's a really cool story, giant-sized Wolverine versus the Hulk or something like that. It's part of like the Old Man Logan verse and this whole thing. But anyways, the two of them fight. Maybe it's not. No, that's a different fight. But the one I'm thinking of, Hulk rips Wolverine in half and throws his ass across the mountain. It's like the coolest. It's like the perfect remake of the story. The one I'm thinking of that ties into Old Man Logan is when not Maestro. It's like an old hillbilly version of Bruce Banner that has
that was
become
crazy.
an inbred and he eats Wolverine.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But anyways, so that's a really cool one to read. And actually, I would really like to own the one I'm talking about where he rips it in half. See, there we go. I read the book.
Chaos hates Stan Lee. But Chaos only likes new books. I've gotten to the point where I have no interest in pretty much anything new. I think it's all gotten very boring, very uninteresting. And that honestly, from really just paying attention, you know, over the past few years since we've been into this, the YouTube part of it, there seemed to always be like a couple of different runs or story arcs or something going on that the majority of us are all talking about. Like, everyone's reading it, everyone's talking about it, and I can't think of anything pretty much since King in Black, that had that kind of attention on it.
Yeah, like since Immortal Hulk, King in Black, Kanto was another big one. James Tynan's Batman run was the most when it won Something Killing the Children for like a split second, and I think that was more spec hype.
That was more spec hype. Like, nobody.
It was a good story.
Yeah, like that one. Once it got to be where it was like, oh, there's some speculation behind something's killing the children. But I mean, look at that book. Yeah, that book's done nothing.
So, and I think,
and I'm not saying that there's not good, like something good going on right now, but it's there's nothing that I see, you know, multiple channels talking about, or people giving reviews on and talking about how good it is. Like there's no one story or you know, a couple of different story arcs and runs and titles right now that seem to have grasped a majority of comic readers right now. I mean, I've talked to people at the shop and, you know, asking them what they're reading that's really good, because I'm not picking up anything new, and you know, I'm not getting much from them. But
and I talked to Josh, and he's like, my comic shop owner. And I think
what is an echo chamber?
Basically, meaning that think of like, just to describe it. So an echo chamber would be something where you're inside a chamber and say you're talking.
Oh, that's fine. What is he trying to say?
He's basically saying that.
Because I know he's talking shit.
No, he's not doing it in a bad way. He's basically saying that, like, we're only surrounding ourselves with people with the same opinion. Does that make sense?
No, that's what
you were getting at. Is you've talked to other people.
I've talked to people at the shop. I've you know, I watch YouTube and look and I don't see anyone.
Yeah, and
tell me a title that you see a bunch of people talking about. I'm interested to know.
Yeah, and we're not saying this from like but like I asked Josh, the comic shop owner, and he's like, you know, he enjoys his G.I. Joe and stuff like that. That's such a small thing, but there's not a great run. I think some people are really enjoying the current Batman run being done by Chip Zdarsky. But once they started putting orgies in Batman, I was like, I'm done with this.
Well, like, you know, everybody was all in, including me, and I'm not a Donny Cates guy at all, but everybody was all in. We were all captivated with the tail end of the Venom run. And what was going on from issue like 20 to the end. Like, it captivated the majority of us to the point where we were picking it up. There was multiple of a what's the word I'm looking for?
There was just a ton of people.
Yeah, several of us would get together on different channels, and we would be talking about it. The chat would be talking about it. Like I don't see that happening over anything that's out right now, and I haven't for a long time.
Yeah, so but that's and like I said, I've talked to Josh, and I don't know, it's just wild. I mean, a lot of the main books aren't great, and a lot of people just aren't really enjoying it. But
we were really enjoying Avengers.
Yeah.
And then that was going.
And then it got weird with the Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
And that or not the Phoenix Saga, the Phoenix Force.
The
fighting.
Yeah, the tournament to get the Phoenix.
And then Echo randomly but anywho's, but where I was going with the MCU and the shows and stuff like that.
I think more people were talking about it by the end than they were at the beginning.
And a lot of it had to do with the God of Light or whoever it was.
I mean, everybody was reading it. Everybody was talking about it. I mean,
which actually, I got to give Donny Cates some credit back on that, because after reading through ASM there and going back and thinking on it, there was a lot of cool stuff he pulled out in King in Black that only somebody who really loved Spider-Man and had read it would have pulled, right? Like the Cosmic Four, that whole thing. He actually pulled a lot of OG stuff back. So I know it landed flat for some people, and it still wasn't the best ending, but it was nowhere near what it was. But a point I keep trying to come back to real quick is people not reading their books, or people, not really reading it and buying books based on stuff they love or they've read or whatever. Another thing is the MCU has been so kind of dead lately. I know there's going to be some people who are like, oh yeah, it's still super healthy and fine. But like, for the first time in 10, 12 years, however long it's been, 14 years, 2008's when Iron Man came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like She-Hulk, that's the first show where I have not finished just because I don't care about it. It's happening with Star Wars. I have not watched a single episode of Andor so far. It's I don't know if it's fatigue or it's just the quality's dropped so bad. It's just that rough. But after Thor, after Doctor Strange this year being just major disappointments, and then She-Hulk being a disappointment, Moon Knight was really good, but it just like...
Yeah, but I think I've heard a lot of people that were disappointed in Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I get that, but I personally enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So
I like this comment right here by Rob, and this is something that I agree with 100%. Where we've gotten to the point where everything is a freaking key. Everything is a special book that you got to get your hands on this week, and it's just when it gets to that point where every book's a key, it's like so then how is any of it supposed to be something spectacular?
It's like giving a trophy to everybody in Little League.
Yeah, like it drives me nuts, man. Whenever keys this week and there's 500 of them in there, it's like, well, Jesus, dude, there's only 300 books getting released this week. How do we got 500 keys?
And so, actually, earlier, another point I want to comment, and we're trying to make sure we got get as many comments as possible. So Samuel, or Emmanuel, sorry, not Samuel. I just hired somebody called Samuel. My bad. But Emmanuel, I haven't bought a comic in a month and a half. Spec community drama, horrible ASM run, whatnot, new home, etc. have all pushed me away. And dude, literally everything you've just said has been me this year. I bought a new house. I finished up Spider-Man and started reading. I've read every Spider-Man issue, and this current thing is the most atrocious thing I've ever seen. John Romita Jr. should be ashamed of himself. And Marvel should be. And I say that from like a very just disappointed, heartfelt way, I guess. I don't know how to put it. That man is so much more capable than what what he's doing. The storyline has been terrible. But and then of course Whatnot. I feel like Whatnot is certainly, I think, affected a lot of people too, right? Because it's for so many different reasons. That's not what we want to go into, but Whatnot has definitely either positively or negatively affected a lot of people. There's been a lot of drama, and this whole Spec community, like everything's a hot key, hot book. It becomes exhausting whenever you try to want to talk to comic books or.
And I think that the speculation stuff, I don't know if it's affected other people the way it's affected me on certain things, But speculation
Yeah.
has absolutely ruined me picking up certain books or certain runs that I was working towards getting.
Yeah, apparently his Hulk run's not doing too well.
Yeah, I mean, Cates and Tynan both, like, I haven't heard anything about those guys in a long time.
No.
And that's all we were talking about.
And you know
last
what,
year.
though? I wonder
we
if it was...
We literally did like an hour and a half show last year about if you could start a comic company and put one of those two guys on it, who would it be? And had a great conversation on it.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's like, well, nobody's even talking about them anymore, man.
Well, and I wonder if it was the Substack thing, because remember that everybody like signed up a Substack.
Yeah. And James Tynan pissed off everybody.
Well, because they got a ton of money, and they went and did this. Donnie Cates and everybody did this. And Substack, they actually let go of Nick Spencer, who was like leading it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like,
well, apparently Tynan
not doing well.
Tynan, it was found out that the stuff it was supposed to be exclusive to Substack, he was selling elsewhere too. He was selling them, making them available elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that you can't do that, bro. You can't do that. What did Vincent say?
You know, and I do hear Daredevil all the time. So it's basically like Chip Zdarsky is just the golden child. Comics are dead. Spec is wrong. Sell. The hell, you can't sell because nobody's buying them.
I wouldn't sell anything right now, man, because the only way you're going to move anything is if it is, dirt ass cheap.
Yeah.
Dirt ass cheap.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is. Now is a great time to buy those books that you really want in your collection. I would say over the next 2, 3, maybe 4 years, they're going to continue. I think we're going to see them continue to drop over the next 3, possibly 4 years. It's going to be a great time if you can, without going into financial trouble, pick those books up you really want in your collection. It's going to be a good time for the collector who's looking to buy those big keys.
Yeah, but I think it's honestly like the Spec thing is an issue between MCU fatigue. Everybody knows at this point they're either going to ruin the character, change the character, or the books are going to drop significantly after they do both of those. We see that Submariner, those books didn't take off. Just had Wolverine.
The Submariners never took off.
Yeah, well, it's because it's not really Submariner. It's
and I don't know that it really has anything to do with that, or if it's just the fact that people ain't got no money in their pockets right now. Like, I don't know which one it is, because it happened at the same time. But then you look at, like, right now, you look at Wolverine. Look at New Mutants 98.
Wolverine just.
They
just announced Wolverine at MCU, something we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
For at this point years and years.
Well,
and years.
even Deadpool, because people are gonna make the comment, well, it's temporary Wolverine. Okay, fine.
It's still Wolverine.
Ryan Reynolds is gonna be Deadpool regardless. Like, he's gonna be Deadpool regardless. And and we've not seen, and like, there's tons of those books that are still not selling. Yeah. You know, I mean, I had my New Mutants 98, my 181. And another Wolverine 9.8 up. And I had that, all 3 of them up for a package price. And it was like at least $1,000, if not more, under FMV when you totaled all 3 of them up. I didn't get even an offer on them. Like, I would have taken an offer on them. I was just given a starting point. I already had them way low. But I mean, like, it's just people, you know, I think 181, like, what if 181 was a bad spec, bro? What if 181 was a bad spec?
What if they?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, this is what they're gonna do.
There's so many copies of 181 available and out there, dude. It's like how, I mean, but it's also a book that everybody seems to want.
I know what's happening. You ready?
It's just like, what if it was a bad spec though? What if it doesn't actually go up?
This is why it's a bad spec. You guys, all 25 of you, 24 now. Listen, this is what's going to happen. I was right about Namor. I said Namor, nobody gives a demo enough about him. You know, normal folks, that they're not going to take him seriously. MCU is going to change everything about him. And that's what they did, other than his winged feet. But other than that, yes.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. They're going to bring Hugh Jackman in, do Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
They're going to introduce X-23, Laura Kinney.
I don't think
she's going to be the new Wolverine.
I don't think so, because if they're bringing in Hugh Jackman, doesn't that make Logan canon?
No. Well, that's 7 years from now.
Exactly. It's No, it's more than that, I think.
It's 2029.
Oh, was it? Okay, so it makes it, but that would still make the future of it canon,
Not if
correct?
they pull from a different universe.
Yeah,
Multiverse.
I guess you could do that. That'd be weird though.
I'm telling you, I think they're gonna do it.
And Bleeker, to your comment, man, like why would anyone buy any book when we get an announcement? They do it all the time though. It happens
but it didn't even take off.
At one point it was happening every time, man.
Yeah.
You get an announcement, you get a rumor, the book starts selling right then. And I've always asked the question, like, why would you wait? And I've posted stuff on Instagram like when we got the She-Hulk news, I was like, if you don't already have a She-Hulk one, you missed it. You missed it. Like, you're gonna pay the higher price now because you missed the boat. But it happens all the time when we get the announcements and stuff. And you know, I thought it was crazy that we haven't seen a surge in sales on those books like a lot of us would have thought.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But I just want it to be out there that my theory is it's gonna happen. Nosh, what's going on, boss? Hope you're doing well. You have a great night,
Nosh, bro.
Enjoy that movie, man. I love that movie. Rogue One. It's one of the better Star Wars movies that Disney has put out. Disney has a track record of ruining a lot of things.
I think everybody, including myself, is just waiting for Mandalorian to come back.
I think they're gonna ruin the next season.
You think?
Well, they've already pissed off how many actors, and now the lead guy is not really super interested anymore. Not that he much matters because he's not even in the helmet half the time.
Yeah.
They'll probably ruin it.
I don't like that they took him out of the helmet so much.
No, that was stupid.
Like, leave the mystique there, bro.
He's a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
it was dumb.
Like, why we got to change that? Like,
yeah.
He's a Mandalorian, dude. You know what I'm saying? And when are we going to get Baby Yoda in a damn helmet? Like, that's got to happen.
Dude, that's crazy. The last sale on this was $3,000.
For what?
A 2.5
of
181.
Oh yeah.
And then the last sale.
Yeah, but when was that sale?
July
of this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then look, the last sale in September of 2022 for a 3.0 was $300 less.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen 3.5. I saw a 3.5 or a 3.0 signed by Stan Lee that sold for less than a 2.5.
So that right there happened. Look at that, $1,500
mm-hmm.
sold July, and then 3 days later, a 2.5 sold for $600 more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, twice. But even after the announcement, it's still selling for less than what a 2.5 sold for. Months ago.
Yeah.
Reds. You know, that's wild.
Yeah. So let's go back to the chat. So when getting back to the other part of the conversation, do people care about comic books anymore? Part of that idea and conversation is something that Nick and I have talked about, and I actually had this conversation with Dan off camera last week, and it made me think, like, do people like even care about comic books, like comic book content, talking about the actual comic books?
Yeah.
Because we've got what, 20 something people watching right now.
Yeah.
Dan and I had a 4-hour long conversation last week about Silver Age comics. We weren't talking about pricing. We were talking about the art. We were talking about the stories, the writers, the characters.
I hate I missed, and we're going to have you back on for that.
We had like 8 people watching the whole, like, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Nobody showed up to watch. And like, it's not that it hurts my feelings. Like, I don't care. I would have sat there behind this camera and just talked to Dan backstage, and it would have not went any differently, because I was so lost in conversation and enjoying what we were talking about. I didn't even acknowledge the chat as all that much, but it was just like, man, like, you know, like it's crazy. We're a comic book channel, and we're talking about actual comics. We're talking about the meat and potatoes of this hobby, the artists, the writers, the friggin' great stories, the characters, and it's like, man, like, we had 50 something people in here when we were talking shit about She-Hulk, and you know, we were running down She-Hulk, or we were talking shit about the C2E2 stuff. I mean, we had 50, 60 people in here for that. But we start talking about comic books, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
I was just like, I'm like, you know, it's just like, is everybody just burnt out on comics right now, or like, you know, what's going on? Like, I don't know. It's crazy. And I had this, you know, the title was literally just, you know, talking everything Silver Age comics, and it's just, I don't know, man. If we're if and then if you look at the different videos that people do, like the stuff that I like to watch, outside of stuff where it's something that's long form content that I can have in my earpiece while I'm working and listening to, I like to watch when people show off books and stuff. Like like Rob's in here, you know, Rob and Lady Fantastic get together like once a week and just show off books that they've picked up, and they talk about you know, books that they've picked up. And I've talked about it. I've said it a ton of times. Like Rob is someone I like to listen to talk about the comics because he's got a lot of knowledge about a lot of it. And, you know, so I genuinely like to hear people talking about the books. And, you know, it's just, maybe I'm just a minority. I don't know. But whenever you see people talking about Spec and what to be buying, like that shit is you know, people are watching like crazy
because it's this get rich quick kind of feel to it.
That's a good way of putting it. When did comics become less of great stories, great art, and more of a get rich quick scheme?
And for some people, it's done very well. Not necessarily get rich quick.
Yeah, I mean,
a great way to make.
And I have myself done decently well in the not so distant past, moving comic books, but a lot of that started from the fact that I just had so many of the new comic book day stuff that was taking up a lot of space. I wasn't going to pick it up and read it again. I was like, I got to get it out. But that's what I'm saying, Rob. And you know, a lot of times I end up watching it on the replay because you guys would do it like on Friday nights a lot, and I would always be on the hunt. So I would be getting ready to get on that show and stuff. So, but you know, it's like you start looking at how it did a week later, and it's just like, damn, like, okay, 10 more people watched it since we did the show. Yeah. But I noticed you guys quit doing it for a while. I saw you guys do it like, I don't know. It's been within the last few weeks. I saw you guys do a show, and you were showing off some books and stuff. But
maybe we need to.
But it's just weird to me, man. That
let's find a way to start a trend. It's like screw the Spec, and like here's some really cool stories.
And I don't want to go that route because, because
saying,
there are people that you know that are friends of ours that talk Spec. Like I'm not saying that speculation talk and all that should just go away, but it's just I'm just wondering how. Like where is there is there ever going to be like an even ground where both can matter? You know, it doesn't seem like that's
loving
there.
Comic books.
We have my water over there
for the reading and writing doesn't make you money.
Yeah. Well, and like me and you, we sat and talked about how much we've been enjoying reading Fantastic Four, and just talking about the different issues we had read and different, you know, characters we've really enjoyed, characters we thought were, you know, not as good and stuff like that. And, you know, what were we talking about? That was the night we were talking about She-Hulk, and we were talking about a couple other things that pertain to like the market and Disney Plus and all. And we had a pretty decent amount of people in there. And as soon as we started talking about Fantastic Four, what we're, you know, reading through the Fantastic Four, everybody rolls out, bro.
Because it's negativity and money sells.
I was gonna say that we started talking positively about the comic book stuff, and then everybody rolls out.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like look, we tested the waters on for what, a good month or two.
Yeah, give or take.
And you know, just basically talking shit about any and everything we could think of. And we had a lot of people showing up and watching.
Yeah.
But I can't stand to continue to like every week do that. Like it just aggravates. It gets to the point where I'm just like, I start feeling like, why the hell am I in this hobby if all I'm going to sit here and do is shit on everything and can't find any happiness in any of it? So, like I can't keep doing that. So we have to get back to 8 people enjoying us talk about things we enjoy about comic books, because that's I have to do that. I can't sit for 3 hours and just complain and shit on everything anymore. It's driving me out.
But yeah, especially because our love and passion for comics, like mine right now, lays so much so with the reading, right? Reading and learning and understanding the source material and the where these characters come from, and that's why I read Spider-Man. That's why I'm reading FF4. That's why I'm going to continue to do this until I just don't have the energy, or maybe it burns me out.
And it's been cool
in
because
the art,
and like through reading this stuff, when we start getting into the issues where we see characters like Submariner coming in consistently into the Fantastic Four, and how cool every one of his, like every time I see Submariner showing up in this issue, I get excited. I want to go and read Submariner now.
100%.
The Avengers come in a couple of issues, and those issues were really good, and I'm like, man, all right, like I want to go read Avengers now. You enjoyed when Johnny Storm would show up in Spider-Man.
That's what
that
really
kind of made me want to go to Fantastic Four.
That's literally probably the only reason, other than the fact that you and Justin committed to reading it with me. But because I enjoyed it and I loved it. And there's characters. That's why I spent all that money on Spider-Man keys. That's why I went and bought Black Cat. If you would have asked me 9 months, well, I guess at this point, what are we in October? If you would ask me 11 months ago, Nick, would you go spend maybe $100, $200 on Black Cat's first appearance? Absolutely not. That's stupid. But did I? Yes, because I read the character. I loved it. Would you have went and spent $300 on Silk's first appearance? Absolutely not. You're effing stupid. Why would I do that? You know what? I read the storylines. I'm like, dude, that's an awesome character. And it changed the entire dynamic of the way I thought about comic books.
Well, and the same way with me with Walking Dead #1.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me before they started reprinting Walking Dead in those deluxe issues, Dustin, would you ever spend the money on a Walking Dead #1? No, I have no interest in that at all. I could care less about Walking Dead. I don't like the show at all. But I decided, you know what? This comic book series captivated people for a long time.
Yeah.
Where you going?
I'm getting the silver one.
But I said Walking Dead captivated people for such a long time.
Yeah. And
it's arguably the second most important independent comic book in my mind, behind Turtles ever. And I said, there's a reason that The Walking Dead.
Maybe it'll pop off. Old Man Logan versus Deadpool.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. But I said, there's a reason Walking Dead became such a big thing. Yeah, here you go, guys. Next big Spec book.
No, dude, that's the first.
He's not going to be Old Man Logan, though. That's the problem.
He might be because he's old as F.
No, he's 10 years younger now. All right. So I decided, you know what? They're reprinting them. I can pick them up for cover price. Let me give it a shot. And I fell in love with that story so much that, like I said, not only did I buy the #1, but you know what? I'm picking up the omnibus so that I can actually go back and just go ahead and read it all. So I can go ahead and read it all in long sittings and read it in the black and white format as it was originally printed. This is something I would have never thought would have happened. I never would have thought I would have a Walking Dead #1, but I enjoyed it so much when I started reading it. I had to have the book where it started. I had
Fake it all.
I had to have it because I loved it that much. And I don't know, man. I just don't feel like I want to see. I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
Because I know we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
I know we're not the only ones. I know it.
We got to figure out some way, somehow, to drive some massive positivity. Look at us, like full 180.
And we know people like Man Cave Comics.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, what's up, Empire?
Comics don't give a shit about no speculation. No. But he's got one of the baddest collections I've ever seen, dude. I hate every inch of his guts because he has a Captain America #1. But
we do appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Empire?
Bubs. Bubs don't give a shit about speculation. Dan don't care about speculation.
Chaos.
Rob, chaos. Like, you know, I know there's people out here that just love the shit out of this hobby.
Yeah.
And I've had more hobbies than anybody, I think. Oh, but I've never had a hobby that literally consumed every part of my attention, and it's 90% of all the time all I think about.
Yeah.
It's 90% of the time that's all I think about. I'm always thinking about what's the next book I want to add to my collection. What's the next book I want in my collection? What you know, I don't know. It's just I can't stop thinking about it all the time. And I've got friends that I text and I'll go hang out with them, and all we do is sit and talk about comic books. There's nothing else that ever comes up. And we have other common interests.
Yeah.
Tons of them. Never comes up. Yep. Never comes up. And I'm just like, man, like we've got to get back to where the comic books are the focus, and where it's fun. That's where you're, find what it is in comics that you freaking love, man.
Yeah.
And if it's nothing past the spec and the money part, like, hey, fine, cool.
Yeah, if it brings you happiness.
But there's a lot more to it than that, man. It's a lot more to it. That's the shallow end of the. Not saying that is being shallow.
It's just a small
but it's the shallow end of the pool, man. Like,
Yeah.
take a few steps in and get closer to that deep end, dude, and drown yourself in the wonderfulness that is Silver Age freaking comics, bro. Because I love it.
So I think, and remember a while back, because you were basically done with comics. You were frustrated. You were burnt out. There was really nothing you were enjoying. It was a while back, maybe a year ago, and Josh was like texting me. He's like, I really think Dustin's gonna quit comic books, and it's weird because we're talking about it like it's a job or it's a lifestyle or something. I'm worried he's gonna like just stop and quit and get out of it. And
sorry, what I was reading the comments, so I missed everything you just said.
So what you were saying is it's a shallow into it, and I was bringing up how it was a year ago now probably, where you were done, you were out, you were frustrated with the hobby. It was either the spec wasn't going well, just frustrated as a whole with the hobby.
My problem I had gotten to was that because I always had current stuff I was reading. I always had something I was reading and enjoying. I got to the point where there was nothing that was coming out that I was getting excited, that I was enjoying. Yeah. And the other side of it that I always had was like, I always had a book or something that I was looking.
Was it after Avengers 4 when you started? Because you were like, it was my last book.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because that was like I was at the point where I was just like, man, like obviously I don't have all the books, but there wasn't any, like, for months I was just like, man, I haven't bought a book in a long time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can think of that I want to obtain. Yeah. Like, what is the next thing I want to obtain? And I couldn't come up with anything. I was like, I love Captain America. Like, I grabbed everything Captain America that I wanted outside of a number one. But that's obviously not a legit thing that I'm going to have.
But at the core of it, you were just frustrated, irritated.
Yeah.
And you were done. And I was like, how about this? Read something.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. I was like, just read something.
Yeah.
Because it has changed my interest level so much. Because I think at the time I was reading Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
And I had gone from Old Man Logan to Spider-Man 2099 to there was something else I went into. And then that led me into going, I'm going to just start reading everything. It was actually this time last year because that's when I decided I was going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, just read something. And you went and picked up Fantastic Four. And you read what? 48, 49,
I
50?
read like 48 up to like halfway through the 50s, I think.
And that sparked a massive love for Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, immediately. And it was at that point I was just kind of like, you know what? Up to this point, and what it was is I was talking to Dan about this last weekend. I was just sitting at my desk and I'm looking at my wall and I'm like, man, like, what do I want to get next?
Yep.
And I couldn't think of anything. And I'm sitting here looking at these books. I was like, you know what? I have no idea what happens in Captain America 100.
Nope.
I have no idea. I have a general idea, but I don't know really what's in Avengers 4.
Nope.
I don't really know what's in Marvel Spotlight 5.
And if you ask 99% of probably the people who are buying and collecting, they don't, and it's of no fault of their own, right? It's just people collect and buy based on covers.
Well, and everybody collects a different way,
and it's fine. Collect your way.
And it's like I told Dan last week. I was just looking at it, and I was like, I've spent all this money on these books, tons of money in these books. I don't have a clue what's in them. I don't know if I like Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. I don't know if I like Captain America. I know I like Jack Kirby's art. I know the books are expensive. I know it makes people go ooh and ah when I show them off on camera.
Yeah.
They get me votes if I'm on a show that is about, getting votes for books you put up. But I don't know if I like the characters. I don't know if I care for the story inside this book. And I was like, and this was just my personal feeling about how I was spending my money. I was like, that's kind of fucked. I was like, what if I don't like this shit, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what if this character just sucks and I don't even know it?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, maybe my dumb ass should start reading some of these older books that I've spent all this money on.
Yeah.
And buy based on what I'm enjoying.
And that right there is, we should probably do a separate video for that, or just like a one-off. But like,
or we could just sit and record something together while we're together. Would be probably not be a bad discussion. I mean, we'd be talking about comic books, so I don't know if anybody will watch it, but
we can just clip this part out because it's basically the conversation. Yeah. But it's really our advice and what we recommend wholeheartedly is if you're burnt. I guess honestly, this is like if you're burnt out, if you're frustrated, if you're just not happy with the way things are going, there's nothing current. Pick up something you always wanted to read. Marvel Unlimited
doesn't even have to be something you've always try something you're not sure about. Because here's the thing with Fantastic Four, my perception of Fantastic Four, especially Silver Age, especially there's a couple of good keys. It was obviously the first, but I've never heard anyone say anything except it's boring.
Yeah,
I've heard everybody say it's boring, and I was like, but I don't know, man. I was like, you have these characters like Galactus and Doctor Doom and Silver Surfer and Black Panther and the Inhumans, and you got all these characters. Like, how can it suck?
Yep.
And I was just like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with these characters. The Thing is literally like I if I had to pick an absolute number one favorite character in comic books of all time right now, I would say the Thing. Yeah. Absolutely, hands down. Is the character from the reading that I enjoy reading more than anything right now, and so much so that I sold a book that, again, I've never read Uncanny X-Men 266. I don't really know anything about Gambit outside of what I saw in the cartoon as a kid, which I liked. But I sold the 9.8 I had so I could buy a book that had, to me, one of the best stories ever written, and it was all about the Thing. It's his best cover, and I saw a high grade copy, and I had been after this book. Yeah. But every time I see it, it's beat up, and I was like, you know what? This is a book that is going to mean a lot to have in my collection because of the story, because of the character, and the cover, the way that it portrays his struggle, his emotion, and how upset he is with being the Thing, while at the same time in the back you see Reed Richards in the negative zone, and it's because of his struggle for being the Thing that has caused Reed Richards to be possibly dying in the negative zone. Like there's so much, it goes so deep in this book, and I was like, I have to have this, and that's like I told Dan last week, we were talking, that's how I'm building my collection now, based on stories that I am enjoying, that I loved reading, the characters that I really, really enjoy. If I have a book on my wall and somebody walks in and asks me like, what's up with that book, I can tell them. Yeah. And because I told Dan, I was like, I kind of feel stupid because I forget who it was, but somebody came over to the house and was asking me like, what happens in that one? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Yeah. I was like, a cool book. I was like, but I paid this much for it and it's worth this much. Yeah. Or it's the first appearance of, and they're like, oh, okay.
Well,
but I can't tell you anything cool that happened to it.
Well, and that's the same way with everything sitting back here. 99% of everything on this wall I've read. The only thing I've not read sitting back here is the stuff that I've been given, basically.
Yeah.
Right, or I won in a giveaway or something.
Yeah.
Which is just literally maybe 3 or 4 books, but everything else I've read. Because what I do is I read it. I'm like, man, I love it. All the ASM omnibus and things like that. Obviously, I'm not collecting the entire run. That's just not for me. I bought my big keys I wanted or the first appearance of characters I wanted, but I love the story, so I wanted to collect them.
Yeah.
But that's my entire collecting now. I don't buy single issues. I still buy my manga and stuff from Josh. There's a few things like Kanto, and I still support Todd McFarlane's Spawn stuff because honestly, it's $2.99.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's still focusing on trying to put out a good story.
Yeah.
But literally what you guys are saying. Now, there was a comment.
Male 65, bro. That Submariner comment, dead on.
So go up a little bit.
I've heard people talk so much smack about Submariner. It doesn't matter. And a lot of it pertain to the with going on the movie. They're like, why does it matter what they do with him? He sucked in the comics anyway. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
If you've never read these early Fantastic Four issues with Submariner in it, Submariner changes the game every time he shows up in one of those books. He's always awesome. Always awesome. Every time he shows up in one of those books.
Yep, for sure.
And absolutely, Man Cave, I agree 100%. I think Ben Grimm, the Thing, is one of the most underrated, underappreciated characters in all of comic books. Absolutely.
So let me see this. Let me go up a little bit. So there was one comment up here. I would definitely, Joe mentioned it. Silver Age Fantastic Four might straight up be the best Silver Age Marvel comic book. Spider-Man and Thor's up there for Silver Age Marvel too. So here's my opinion, right? So I have read a fairly large majority of Fantastic Four Silver Age at this point. At one point, does it become Bronze Age again? 70.
So Dan and I spoke about this last week. There's no real
definitive. What is like a general area?
I don't know. I have always and I always thought that like once it turns away from 12 cent, it's bronze. But apparently, a lot of people consider like from like 1968 or 1969.
Yeah.
And then some people consider like 1972 where it goes to 20
That's
cent.
what I've heard, 72.
So, I mean, it's somewhere between 68 and 72.
So regardless, though, I probably at this point, I'm pretty well into bronze. But I've read, obviously, all of Spider-Man. I've never read Thor. But what I will tell you is if you would have asked me very early on what I thought about Fantastic Four versus Spider-Man, Spider-Man would have won 100%. I would have thought, no, not a chance. Spider-Man was phenomenal. What I will tell you is as Kirby progressed in his Fantastic Four and his artwork and the storylines and things like that, I love it. I love the early stuff too. But as we progressed and currently what Jack Kirby's doing in the run and his artwork and his creativity, dude, it has just...
That's literally... I wish you would have been here last weekend because that's what Dan and I were talking about. And I was talking about how cool it's been how cool it's been to see the evolution of Marvel's First Family on the pages.
Yeah.
When you see the Thing go from a chewed up piece of bubblegum looking character to like, oh, he's starting to look a little bit rocky. And then you get to issue 22 and it's like, there he is. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, hold on. He don't have his blue eyes, his beautiful baby blues that he always talks about. They're not there yet.
Yeah.
And then I get to like, I forget what issue it was. I think it was like 30 or 31, 32, somewhere in the 30s, the early 30s. And you get a real close-up shot of Ben Grimm's eyes and you see the blue. And I'm like, there he is. He's complete. The Thing is here 100%. Like, it's so cool to see that kind of stuff happening in those Silver Age books. Who do you think so far has had as far as like reading the issues and being interesting and being pretty cool characters? What would you say going through the first 30 issues, villains wise, overall, has had the most interesting stories with the villains coming in, first appearance, stuff like that? Spider-Man or Fantastic Four? Because I know you said most of the villains you didn't even like them
early on. Well, so I felt like Spider-Man's villains were more interesting to me, and they still are. They absolutely still are.
Because I know you like every time people would ask you about this villain or that villain, you're like, he wasn't that good.
Well, yeah, but they were still more interesting to me.
I mean, there's been a couple of them with Fantastic Four. I'm like,
Well, for me, it would be Submariner,
right?
Yeah.
Which I know he becomes not necessarily a villain, but at first he was.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom is still. I would equivalent Doctor Doom and Green Goblin. I still, for me, it would be like Green Goblin's the best, and then if I had to pick between the two villain sets, I would probably say Doctor Doom's a good number 2. But Fantastic Four, there has not been another. Well, I take Galactus, Silver Surfer just kind of showed up recently, but like the first 30 issues. If we're-
See, I love the
Yeah.
Puppet Master.
I just
I
thought they
loved,
were. Yeah.
I love Super Scroll. I think he is kick ass.
He's pretty. Yeah, he is neat.
I like Diablo. I think that
Yeah.
character is very cool, very interesting. I really enjoyed Miracle. No, Miracle Man was the Super Scroll. What was the other one I was thinking of? The guy with the mind control, the Thinker. I thought he was really cool. Atuma, when he showed up in issue 33. Now he's a Submariner villain, but I really enjoyed that issue overall. So I wouldn't say it definitely equates to
and the other
the
thing,
villain himself. But
and the other thing is like they did a lot of the early on villains, but then it became like a lot of infighting with other teams. X-Men, Avengers for a second, and then it was
I love
the
20.
Inhumans was another big one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to there yet.
So you know, for me, like I said, if I'm gonna compare strictly ASM or early ASM to early FF, I felt like if we compare first 30 issues to 30 issues, I'm going Spider-Man.
Okay.
If we're going maybe the first 60, 70 issues between the two, I'm gonna pick Fantastic Four solely for the back end because of how. I mean, it's night and day. Spider-Man stayed the same,
and thus far, what I've kind of felt like, and I'm only in like the mid 30s right now.
Yeah,
I don't feel like we've really started to get like a world
building. You haven't seen anything.
We don't have a world building happening yet. Like they've been establishing the Fantastic Four themselves, and like we see these villains come in. And we've seen them come back. You know, we've seen Diablo a couple times. We've seen the Puppet Master a couple times. The Thinkers come back. Doctor Doom, Submariner, but it hasn't really expanded past New York where they're at.
No, literally, it's been
they traveled to space a couple times, but
it's not even close to what it's at now.
You're to where they're building this cosmic universe. I'm excited to get there because I feel like you know they're focused on the allowing readers to be able to relate to these characters on a personal level. These are real people with real issues. They fight with each other. We've seen them have money problems, like
marital issues,
issues with their father, and we've seen them deal with death in the families, and so that's been a real focus through the first 30 issues, 35 that I've read so far. So, and I've enjoyed that, but I'm looking forward to seeing them get to the world building part of it and where we start to see like the expansion on the Marvel universe and comics as a whole, because it sparks from there.
Yeah.
All this cosmic stuff everybody loves so much, like it sparks from there.
Yeah, for sure. So, and again, like if I was just to compare the two, the back end of Fantastic, and it's purely based on the phenomenal Kirby artwork that he's done. But as far as the villain set, I mean, Spider-Man's villains are still, because Spider-Man's based, like villains on Spider-Man are 50-50, right? Spider-Man couldn't carry the storyline by himself without his villains.
Yeah.
FF, I feel like they could carry a pretty solid storyline.
Yeah.
Without, a big bad, it could be Doctor Doom looming in the background,
and a lot of the villains they ran across are just like regular dudes a lot of times too. I mean, every villain is not some like, world threatening villain, but it's still been fun to read it. And there was another character we were talking about that we both really liked. We liked Rumatut. We both liked him. That was a great villain. But there was another one we were both talking about early on. We were both talking about early on that was just like that character seemed like they were going to be maybe it was Rumatut. He said he was like one of the first ones outside of like Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
That was like, wow, this is like this guy's a threat. Like this could be an issue for them. And I'm like, how are they going to get out of this?
Yeah, the mind control and stuff like that. Yeah.
How are they going to get out of this? This is an issue. But yeah, I mean, but like but this is what I'm saying. Like this kind of this like I don't see as much of people having these conversations, posting on Instagram about, you know, how much they're enjoying reading this or this character, like, and maybe we're just not following the right people.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe we're living in an echo chamber.
I don't know.
Chaos says.
I mean, because I'm constantly scrolling YouTube, looking for something to listen to while I'm pressing books, while I'm at work. I'm constantly, I'm like I have to have something in my ear playing while I'm at work, while I'm working in the closets and stuff, punching cables down, you know, whatever. I really enjoy listening to something related to this hobby, and it's gotten to the point where, like, there's not a lot there. There's a lot of auctions. There's a lot of spec stuff, and there's a lot of people complaining about, you know, what Clayton Crane did and shit that doesn't pertain to the books.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, man, like, we got to get back to the books, man. It's all about the books. That's what matters.
Get back to the basics.
Your feelings don't matter. Damn your feelings. The books don't have any feelings. They just have great stories.
Dustin,
some of them have shitty stories, but
a lot of them.
But there's a lot of
and we can have so we weren't planning on going a full like 3-4 hours tonight, but another thing we're going to talk about current comic books being dead. Or comic books. We can talk about current comic books.
Kyle, I would love to see an actual terrifying.
Let me guess, Scarecrow.
I want to see like an actual like
scared.
And when I think of like Scarecrow, again, not a character I've read any comics on. Why I'm a fan of the Scarecrow? I'm not, and it's funny because it's from a video game. And I hate video games. But the first Batman, Arkham Asylum or something like that, the Scarecrow was the big villain there. And it would scare the shit out of you when he would show up. And I was like, man, this would be so, and like, I would love for them to go that route with Scarecrow. Like they could definitely give off some super horror vibes with Scarecrow and make it some cool stuff. So if I had to pick a character for Batman, like I think Scarecrow, because I mean, we got a Scarecrow, but and that may be comic accurate. I like I said, you know, I haven't read Scarecrow stuff, but I would like to see like a really creepy, scary Batman with Scarecrow, and it would be cool as hell.
Yeah.
No Faces chat does need to come back. I have listened to every single one of them now, and so I've complained about it. I've sent many letters to the complaint department. They've all been returned, which is crazy to me because I know I got the addresses right. But yeah, that show definitely needs to come back. And you know, if you need new co-hosts, I might know some people. Obviously not him, but you know, I would be interested.
My face deserves to be on the camera when I'm chatting.
Yeah, okay. But
do you see the stash? Don't make me zoom in on it.
Yeah, like Bub's No Faces chat is a great example of something that was just so pure about the comic books and such an awesome thing to sit and just enjoy. And you know, that's one where when they're talking about like I would have my phone sit like in front of like on top of a patch panel while I'm working on in a closet or something. So like if they were talking about a book and like it sounded like something I wanted to check out, like I could look up and see it. But yeah, I mean, like that was a great show. Always loved it, you know, thought it was awesome. But yeah, there's been a lot of content that's fallen off, and I'm not the only one that has said like there's like nothing but auctions sometimes, it seems like. And like auctions are great because if we don't have the auctions, then there's a lot of books that we're not going to be able to get because, you know, not everybody has 5-10 LCSs near them. So like, I'm not saying the auctions need to go away. That's not the case at all. And I think the reason why people think there's nothing but auctions is because that content has continued to go forward, and the content about the comic books themselves has just seemed like it's kind of dropped off, you know. I mean, I know Chaos is still throwing his up on Twitter and on TikTok, and YouTube, and he posts on Instagram about stuff he's reading. Chaos and I were talking the other day about Stillwater and Something's Killing the Children. I think Stillwater is absolutely one of the most underrated modern day reads that no one talks about. I thought Stillwater was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it. And it's actually about to end. And I actually hope they do a hardcover for that, but I don't think they will, because it just doesn't seem like a book that a lot of people are reading. I know my shop did not order it. One issue would come in when it came out, and that was mine. And the other 3 shops that I would visit, they never had them because nobody was reading it. But I do want to pick up the trades, and I think, and here I go doing what I said earlier, was just like, why do we do that? I think if I had to pick between Stillwater and Something's Killing the Children as something I'd like to see on screen, I think Stillwater would be twice as good. I think it would knock it out.
Yeah, because Something's Killing the Children would be done in the manner of Stranger Things, right? More young adult theme, I think, is what the target would be for there if they're doing it for audiences. Do that. I think Stillwater is something that would need to be much more like R-rated thriller, borderline horror.
I don't even think it would have to go that far.
It would definitely need to be like one of those weird suspenseful thrillers where like almost like what's that that dude that does Jordan Peele, all of his movies that just did Nope. They're these weird surreal thriller type movies where like everything seems normal and then all of a sudden there's this massive twist.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, I think Stillwater is something that, and what killed Stillwater, I really believe what hurt Stillwater so much is it came out right when Something's Killing the Children did.
Yeah.
And everybody got on that Something's Killing the Children hype, or Spec hype, because that's what it was. It was Spec hype immediately. That was why we ended up with the number ones, because Josh was like, this is the hottest book of the week. Everybody's buying it. I got 2 left. He said, but I'll tell you, it's a great story. You guys should check it out. So we both bought a copy of the Jenny Frizen B cover.
And I can't figure out where mine went to save my life.
And we both read it for a long time. Yeah. And it was good for a while. But the thing with Something's Killing Children is I would read a couple of issues, and then I would feel like I was like, like I'm not really digging this anymore. And then I'd pick the next issue out and I'd be like, oh, it drew me back in. Stillwater, consistently, every issue, I was like, man, I cannot wait to see what happens next. And then every few issues, you would get something big, and you're like, oh shit, Chip Zdarsky, what are you doing, bro? And I'll even give my buddy Donnie Cates some love, because I went back and read Crossover.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed Crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really, really good. I haven't finished I never read the last issue. I never saw it release.
Sometimes that's just a good way to leave it.
Yeah, with Donnie Cates especially, right?
Sometimes you just
want to. But the last issue is the only one I haven't read. I never saw it hit shelves. So I don't know. I might need to just pick that up and trade or read it on digital. But yeah, I mean, maybe with Donnie, that is the best thing to do, is just don't read the ending.
Donnie, Game of Thrones, all of those things. It's just sometimes it's best to leave it unended and live in the joy of what's happening. So, but like current comics though, right now, kind of on that, I know somebody brought up earlier, and I don't remember the exact names, so I apologize, but the artwork, the storytelling, perfect example is Amazing Spider-Man. It hasn't been good in 25 years, probably. Not a great story, and the current stuff specifically. I mean, I was talking with Josh about this, and if a kid comes in and he wants to read Spider-Man, they go to the shelf and they look for the most recent thing. And he's like, if these kids, this is their first experience with Spider-Man or whoever, right? It could be anybody coming in. I mean, it's going to turn them off from possibly comic books as a whole. Like, what in the world?
Yeah, because universally, Spider-Man is like, all kids love Spider-Man,
and it's terrible.
Even my kid, and I've tried to discourage him from it.
It's miserable how bad it is. And it's frustrating because you love like I do genuinely love Spider-Man as a character.
Yeah.
I have spent thousands of dollars on Spider-Man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they don't care. They don't treat, because these writers are terrible, or the editors, and it's likely the editorial teams. And but that's really what's killing comic book. I would say the mainstream stuff.
is the some of the artwork is great, some of it's not, but it really comes down to the storytelling and over editorializing it, as Stan Lee would put it, versus focusing on the storytelling.
Yeah.
One of his soapboxes and things like that he mentioned, I read about it, is he's always, and it's actually, I want to say it was either in Fantastic Four or Spider-Man early on, he said this, is we always want to tell universal ethics and morals basically in our books, but we want to do it in a way that's not over editorializing it and putting it at the forefront. We want to focus on our storytelling. And I feel like the exact opposite, where these editors and writers are trying to put what they believe are the right things and the right morals and whatever it may be at the forefront. And then they just don't really care about the story, because if I do this, that, or another, you know, people are going to buy it, and it's not about the story more. And that's what's so frustrating, especially within Spider-Man, for me anyways, because it's been dropped. And I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, I think everything I've heard you say goes right along with Rob Fatstack's comment, and I know you and Rob seem to land pretty much in the same box on a lot of stuff Spider-Man from what I can tell too. And I know he loves Spider-Man so much that it ruined his collecting for years and made him stop.
It was Maximum Clonage that did that too. And honestly, like, as I was reading it, and I've said this several times at this point, but I was pissed. I mean, I don't think I've been more angry. And I didn't know you could even get angry reading comic books. You know what I mean? That is not an emotion I wanted to ever feel whilst reading a comic book. But I'll tell you, man, reading through all of that, and I'm like, really? I just spent months reading this, and you're going to tell me, and imagine being a fan for decades reading this and going, this isn't actually Peter Parker. Sorry. From like whatever issue it was, the original clone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
well, you know, they did the same thing with Captain America.
Oh, with
in
Nick
the Golden
Spencer's...
Age.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the Golden Age, like Dan and I were talking about it, and I believe Dan and I and Man Cave had a conversation about it backstage of the hunt one time.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, for the last so many issues in the Golden Age, it came out later on that wasn't Captain America. And it was never, they never ever gave you any kind of context, like who it was, what happened. And I was telling Dan, I was like, that's something right there that would make for a fantastic story if somebody could hit it well.
Yeah.
You know, go back and write like that story. Who was that guy then? How did that happen? Where was Steve Rogers? And I'm like, man, that's crazy, you know?
You know who's really a phenomenal writer, and I wish he would do more? Brubaker. I know he's doing his own stuff. Brubaker Spider-Man.
I love Zdarsky. You know, I think
I tell you, my favorite modern comic book, Spider-Man wise, was Zdarsky's life story.
Yeah.
When I'm saying modern, like
I was
last
talking,
10, 15 years.
I was talking to Chaos the other day about that. What was that other Zdarsky book you and I started on? We read issue 1 and issue 2, and we were digging it, but we never read any more of it.
I don't know.
It was about the guy who was basically the go-between between two mob bosses in that. I can't remember what it was though, but it's out right now.
I'm pulling it up to see.
Newburn.
Oh, Newburn.
Like we were enjoying that.
Yeah.
I don't know why we quit reading it, but you know, it was good though. I thought it was.
It
good.
may have just went on a weird hiatus.
Well, I mean, I only read through issue 2. I just never. Yeah. I mean, Stillwater was great. You know, everybody loved his Daredevil, and I know that the crossover issue he did was really well written. I enjoyed everything on that. Batman the Knight. I think I read the first 4 or 5 issues. I thought that was really good. What else? Black Hammer. I know everybody who read Black Hammer really seemed to enjoy Black Hammer.
So that one, the Visions was a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't actually. That was Jeff.
He didn't write that was Jeff Lemire. That's right. Yeah.
So what he did was the Visions, which is basically they just let anybody kind of write a one-off story.
Okay.
So, what else is some other good stuff I've seen him do? His Daredevil work has been just nothing short of phenomenal.
Yeah, Devil's Reign. I think some people were saying Devil's Reign was decent.
His
what
Batman has
else?
been doing very good, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Alan is all about it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, go up. Did he write that? Oh no. That's not the Hawkeye series. That's not the Hawkeye series.
No, that's not.
Okay.
Matt Fraction is what you're thinking of.
Oh, he wrote the Howard the Duck series where Gwenpool shows up. I didn't know that. That's neat. I hate Fairyland. I thought that was.
It is. He might have just done one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is he? That's interesting for sure. Oh, he wrote an issue or something for Silver Coin, Darth Maul, Silver Surfers. He wrote a bunch of different Spider-Man stuff.
Well, Spider-Man Life Story.
He didn't do Undiscovered Country, did he?
No.
I didn't think so.
He might have just helped out with one issue.
Yeah. That was another series that started out really well, really good. Like the
flat.
first story arc was badass.
Yeah.
The first story arc of Undiscovered Country was badass. I think I read the first like 13 issues, and I was like, this shit is awesome. Same thing with Once and Future, man. I loved Once and Future. I thought it was freaking awesome. And the only reason, and I'm not saying that it got bad, the only reason I stopped reading it is because it was so wrapped up and focused on the lore in these characters that I was able to follow along as we were doing, like with King Arthur and Grendel and Beowulf. But once we started getting past that and started diving into stuff that I had never heard of, don't know anything about the lore of these characters, it was so hard for me to follow along and understand what's going on with the story. I felt so lost in it that I couldn't read it anymore. But the artwork and the colors in that book, the artist and the colorist of those and those books, and I can't remember who was the artist. What was his name? Dan Mora. The Once and Future was absolute. There's nothing that I have seen of the last 3 or 4 years that can touch the artwork that was inside of those books. I mean, it is top of the mountain for me. Everything was fantastic in it.
So JMS did a really good. I feel like out of modern comic book writers, JMS has done a phenomenal job of Spider-Man. But that wasn't him, man. That was the editors doing that. He's talked about that. And exactly, just get Peter and MJ back together, and those two versus the world, they're unstoppable. They could beat Superman. You know what I mean? Like, not literally, you know what I'm saying? But
Zdarsky on Fantastic Four, that would be cool.
Yeah.
There's a current Fantastic Four going on?
I want to say Dan Slott's doing it or just finished it up. So it's probably garbage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably trash.
Ugh.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out stuff like Stillwater, like if you're looking for something to read, something modern, like check out Stillwater. Check out Once and Future.
Yeah.
You know, this is stuff that you can go get the single issues if you wanted to. They're not going to be expensive. You can even get the number ones, bro, for like $10. And you can go and pick up the trades on them or whatever, but they're just good stories. Once and Future had some of the coolest characters, man. The character development there was fantastic. I really, really liked what he did with those characters. Granny, the grandma, dude, she's got to be one of the best characters that has come out in a comic book in the last 4 years. Like Granny is better than every comic book character that has showed up in any book in the last 4 years, and she will whoop everybody's ass.
Yeah, that's all I want in life, Rob, is a canon version of Peter and MJ growing old together. Did you read actually the Amazing Fantasy? Hold on,
I wanted to pick that up, Joe.
Hold on, the Amazing Fantasy 1000. Dan Slott wrote this, and it was I talked about this a couple weeks ago, where he got into some trouble. Not to spoil it, ends up in a hospital, and all of New York comes to say goodbye to him. And I had to stop reading because, like, dude, I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna start tearing up.
Dude, so many people were asking about what issue that was on the Instagram post where you posted him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Please tell them what issue it is.
I just told him.
Okay, tell them again.
Amazing Fantasy 1000.
Now. go to Instagram and drop that comment on that freaking picture, because I have had so many people message us, and I'm like, I have no idea. I'll ask Nick and tell him to tell y'all, and you never do because I haven't asked you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Joe, that's something definitely I want to be able to pick up. I mean, Alex Ross, he's a national treasure. Like, I don't know if we have a way to like federally recognize artists for anything, but Alex Ross deserves it. And I think that should be a universal thought. You know what I mean? Like, there's some good artists. There's Todd McFarlane's and Jim Lee's and all of these other wonderful artists. You know, I think Otley and Stegman are just top notch. But then you have Alex Ross, and I feel like he's just a step above everyone else. That's scary.
Scissors in here?
I have a knife.
You don't have scissors?
What do you need scissors for?
I gotta cut something.
I had a set somewhere. What a weirdo. I don't know what he's wanting to cut, but it's probably gross. No, I don't have scissors.
Okay.
But I do literally. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
What are you trying to cut?
Nothing, I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the truck. Hey, how do I get back in your house? Will your doorbell ring your phone if I just look at it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm telling you. We're having a great conversation talking about Alex Ross needing to, somehow federally recognize this man, make him just, I don't know, something. And he's going to come in here. I need to cut something. What on earth would he need to cut? I don't know. I really don't know. But Alex Ross is actually, I have his Marvelocity down here. You can see it right here. And my plan was originally when we moved into this house to get Alex Ross as some of his artwork. And if you guys don't know, you can go to alexross.com. Check out some of his. Oh, okay. So it's not alexross.com anymore. It's something else. Let's see. alexrossart.com. So what up, Bueller? Man, I hope everything's going okay and you're doing well, and you're making it back to Oregon okay. I saw the video, and I think Dustin commented on it as well. Terribly sorry for all that, man, and I hope the bus is okay and it was not a head gasket, but white smoke is yeah, that's not good, man. Not good. So hopefully it's okay though. Good deal. Slept on who? Cardi? Oh, Nick Cardi. Oh, I don't think I've even. Yeah, I'm not a big J. Scott Campbell fan, but David Finch and Neil Adams. David Finch is probably Dustin's, I would say, like really high top end in terms of like he'd probably be top 5, I bet. So, but Alex Ross, my initial plan whenever I moved into this house was to actually come to Alex Ross, and in my room here. Purchase some of his not his original art, because you can buy his original art, and let's just show you guys the price. $15K, 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 $2K, $10K, $15K. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not that guy. But I could do this, right? And my original plan was to come in here and buy some of these. And he has the Spider. I'm not a huge fan of this Spider-Man one, but he has some of these others that are just gorgeous. I really thought about this Iron Man one here, but that's on a canvas. And once it sells out, they're gone. There was more at the time when I was looking at these. But my initial plan was to either buy this one, this set here. It's the Marvelocity Just on canvas. And then I was like, no, I don't really care for the Spider-Man as much, but I mean, he does some phenomenal work. Awesome, man. Well, that's good to hear. That's super encouraging. You're not going to try to hike it back to New York super, super quick? And also, screw those guys for not stepping up. But you know our opinions. That's all we'll say. Let's pull up some Nick Cardi stuff, because I am not 100% certain much about his stuff. At first, I thought you were talking about Cardi B and just spelled it wrong too. I was like, what? Let's see, Nick Cardi. Oh, he looks like a sweet old man. If that's him, it's probably not him. Who knows? Nick Cardi. Is he? He looks like he's mainly a DC guy. Are you cut now?
Yeah.
What'd you drop?
That was a plug-in. It's kind of a 3-prong adapter.
That's fine. We're looking at Nick Cardi artwork.
So he did a lot of DC stuff, and Dan and I were talking about this last week. The only Marvel cover that I could find that he did was the first Legion of Monsters, Marvel Premiere 27. That's the only Marvel cover I could find that he did. Because when I bought the book, I was like, I really like this art. Yeah, Aquaman, he killed it. But I was like, man, I wonder what other covers he's done. And I looked it up, and everything was DC. And I was like, Marvel comic covers, which ones?
So Bueller's here, and he says everything's fine. Bus was an easy fix, so that's great.
Awesome, dude.
And he's going to be flying in New York Comic Con next week. He's flying in New York Comic Con.
Oh, right on, dude.
So since folks don't want to be stepping,
great. Now we have another influencer to go steal all the damn exclusives. You son of a bitch. Just kidding.
And then he's gonna have to sell them too. Dang.
Yeah, haha, Bueller, you got to sell all them books, dude. You got to do auctions now, Bueller, and then you got to pack them up. Then you got to mail them. That's what you get for living the dream.
Oh my gosh!
Maybe I had like there was marshmallow. There was marshmallow all in here, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I just cut it all off. All the marshmallow, I just cut it out. And then I had to like even it up, and it was driving me nuts.
Just take some water. It's
I tried. I went there twice already and did that.
Oh my god!
I couldn't stand it.
This is what goes on, and you should have heard our conversation at the gas station today. I ended up with coffee out of my nose. All right, so Nick Cardi's best covers. Speaking
of Nick Cardi and that Marvel Premiere 20, that Aquaman right there,
dude.
I want that book. I want that book because
y'all suck. Because awesome, now I'm like really tied in.
But if you look, like it's all DC stuff.
That's a phenomenal Spec cover.
Yeah.
Look at the colors.
I've been down this rabbit hole, dude. He does good shit. But going back to that Marvel Premiere 27, I think it's 27. I hope I'm not mistaken. But the first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. You know, I picked that book up before it became a big Spec book. I used it on the hunt, and you know, we talk shit about each other's books to try to get the votes, and like it's a part of the show. The only thing that anyone could say about it was, what are they going to do with those characters, Legion of Monsters? You think they're going to really make a movie or a show about them? And I mean, it just goes back. I was just like, what the hell does that have to do with whether or not this book is worth a shit? Guess what? That guy has a copy now, and he uses it and wants to say how great it is all the time. Because now it's a Spec book. It's worth money. It wasn't worth more than $30 at that point. But yeah, that Aquaman cover, dude.
Hey, look, $24.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy
awesome. I think I saw it on Rob's
No, wait,
show.
Is that real? I thought that was a joke. That's not really the book.
Yes, it is.
Really? That's it?
What do you mean?
I just feel like that would be more expensive. It's the second appearance of Black Manta. It's a Nick Cardi book. It's
DC, though. People don't put a lot of love into DC right now.
Seriously.
But I think the first time I saw it was on Rob's show, and it may have actually been Man Cave showed it. And I think he had like a really high-grade copy. But yeah, that's what it was that I was looking at, too. Like, what was that link you just went to? I love this. I don't know. Can they see this?
Yeah, this is what I was looking up.
So I scroll back down. Like, I love where you see the trade dress involved in the title.
Yeah.
Like I showed you that Flash book earlier today, and I was like, this is one of the only Flash books that I just am like, man, I'd like to have that. But that Batman right there, I want a really nice copy of that Batman at some point. And I've been looking. They get kind of pricey, and but that Batman, that Flash, and this Aquaman, I would love to have and have them side by side. Like, that would be so cool.
This is the dumbest shit in the world that this is not a more expensive book.
Yeah. I mean, look, 9.0, you can get, I mean, it's a 68. So, I mean, it is or isn't Silver Age still. But Aquaman, Nick Cardi did some really, really good art.
I mean, that is a beautiful book.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
What's up, Vinny?
Yeah, it is.
I showed up on my show and it forced me to buy a copy.
Yeah, he was talking about it. Yeah, and I can't remember if it was Man Cave or somebody else. I think John's Comic with Kids has one of those as well. But I know the first time I saw it was on Rob's show, and I was like, "Wow, that is just kick ass." I feel like it was Man Cave, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I stay looking for them. See, I like, you know me, I like to find them in the wild. I don't like the eBay buy it. Just like I've kind of gotten to the point now where if I can help it, I don't want to buy the slab. I want to buy it raw.
So I know there's a Marvel subscription crease. Did DC have a subscription at one point where it was, because that's creased right down the middle?
That may have been somebody folded it up, put it in their pocket, rode their bike back home, crease. But
that's awesome, man.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Like if he wasn't away, I'd probably just buy it right now.
If what? Oh.
The seller's away.
And like there's still stuff like that like, yeah, I don't know shit about Aquaman or Black Manta, but like that cover is just
it's purely a cover buy.
It's an awesome work of art. And that's another awesome way to collect books, is just collect it like fine art, bro.
Yeah. But, well, like I was talking about with Alex Ross whenever you left and to cut marshmallow off your beard, is I was saying that like basically my statement was you have the Todd McFarlane's, the Jim Lees, the for me like the newer artists, the Stegman,
what's his name? I always talk about
Drew Finch.
No, David Finch.
Somebody brought that up.
I think David Finch is probably the most underrated artist on the planet.
Somebody made a comment.
The man is a freaking.
But what I was saying is like you have those guys, and then you have people like Alex Ross, which I think we need to find a way to like federally recognize him for his contributions to the art world, because he is, he's Todd McFarlane's and all those, but Alex Ross I still think surpasses all of them, and and Alex Ross, let's be honest, like you're not buying his stuff because it's a good story. You're buying it because it's the art and the artist.
I mean, look at
same
the
thing
timeless
with
covers.
some of the Neil Adams stuff. Yeah. So something like this, like, you may not have read it and be like, oh, I'm in love with this, but this is a true work of art versus.
Well, I mean, and like I've never dove into a lot of the stuff that he's done covers for, but I know a lot of Bernie Wrights and stuff. Like people just buy it because of the art. Yeah. I mean, Schomburg. Look at Schomburg covers. Yeah. He did everything he did was like Golden Age stuff. Like 90% of that stuff, Dan and I were conversating about it last week. The majority of the Golden Age stuff, the stories are just not there. They're just not on that level of being able to really enjoy the read and say that was fantastic. But Schomburg's covers, I mean, we saw a poster today, a frame poster of a Schomburg piece. And it was just like basically like a big ass print, and they were like almost $500 for it. Yeah, I mean, like he carries that amount of weight with his art because it was such an appreciation for what he's doing with his art.
Yeah,
and like you said, same thing with Alex Ross. I mean,
dude, if I were to just buy all of these right now, I'd put it on the hot 10 list, and then I could flip them for 9 times the price.
But see, the thing I like about David Finch is he does great covers, but his interiors are just as good. Yeah. It's not like he can do great covers and then like his interiors are pretty decent. Like you can tell he puts the same amount of effort and love into his interior work as he does on the covers. And it's if you want an example, go read the New Avengers run he did, which is an absolutely awesome read. Awesome freaking read. The New Avengers was really good. That's what the Illuminati came in and all that stuff. One of my, what my favorite character through that run was? You'll never guess.
The Illuminati?
No.
What? No. Oh, what run?
The New Avengers.
But that's the one with the Illuminati and stuff.
You'll never guess who my favorite character in that whole entire series was.
Oh, you talked about this at one point.
Spider-Woman. She was great.
Which version was it though? Was it Jessica or one of the other ones? Did she give the
I think it was Jessica. Because they drew.
Yeah, they've changed like 1,000.
Yeah, I think it was her.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought she was awesome. Thought she was, to the point where I almost went and bought her first appearance, which is extremely affordable. But You know, I don't necessarily really have a lot of female characters that I'm drawn to that I really enjoy. But I thought she was awesome.
Yeah.
Granny's still my favorite though. Like, she's awesome.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any of these.
Oh, there you go. Finch, Batman, and Moon Knight. Bub's talking about. Yeah. Finch's Moon Knight was freaking badass. I didn't know David Finch did Batman. What run did he do Batman? Because I bet that looks badass. I bet David Finch's Batman is awesome. I almost bought anybody out there that collects like old Silver Age Detective Comics and Batman stuff. I had it in my hands today. I took it out of the bag and everything. Like, I had it in my hands for like 30 minutes. I almost picked it up. I should have picked it up, but I didn't. I especially should have picked it up from Steve Hinton. And I forget which issue it was. I think it's like 330 or 230 Detective Comics. But there's a big ass purple elephant on it. And the cover's just beautiful. And the elephant's got Batman wrapped up in his trunk. And Batman's just like, oh. And like Robin's up on his head or something. But I'd never seen that cover before, but that cover was just, I mean, awesome, dude. Loved that cover. It might be 233 or something like that.
Just have an elephant.
There you go. There it is. 333. Okay. Yeah, I love that, man. I'm definitely going to end up adding this book to my collection at some point. And like, I know there's people that collect elephant covers. Like, there is a niche.
Have a good night, Kyle.
Amount of people. There's a niche group that picks up elephant covers later, bro. And if those people, I'm sure all of them have to have this book, I would hope, because this to me is just awesome. I love it. And I don't even know who the artist is. The Elephant Graveyard. Oh, it's Carmine Infantino. So we talked about that. We were thinking maybe it is Carmine Infantino. And he's another guy that, especially through like Detective Comics stuff, man, his shit was so good. So good. Carmine Infantino and Neil Adams.
That's sick.
Their Batman work was just too good. Oh, the Schomburg.
Yeah, I've never really spent a lot of time looking through. Oh, that's awesome,
dude. I think did Schomburg do the blimp cover? If Bubs or Man Cave or Dan are still in here, I know you guys deal with Golden Age stuff a lot, but I want to say that Schomburg did a Marvel Comics cover. It's called the blimp cover, and the Human Torch is like flying through this big ass blimp, dude. It is incredible.
But it's a different Human Torch than
it's the original Torch, the android.
I wonder how I got away with that. I mean, I know it just seems so like derivative is being one thing, but to just literally just yank it, it's kind of weird to me.
I don't know what issue that is. If we weren't on eBay, because it's one of those books that just people don't sell it.
Yeah,
that's probably one of his most iconic books right there. No Up, the Startling Comics.
Yeah,
like that is if you're a Schomburg collector, like that book hits so many different things, because you have bondage collectors, you have robot collectors, you have sci-fi space collectors, you have Schomburg collectors. Like that book has so many different niche groups going after it. It is like a unobtainable book for a lot of people, for most people. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, Alex Schomburg is definitely a killer. Infantino early Flash was great. Okay. JD. I knew it was somebody I knew collected elephant covers. Yeah, JD. Does anybody know the issue of the blimp cover? I can't remember what it was. But if you go and look up, like, if you just pull up the winner, or all the winners, if you pull up like the Marvel Comics run and look at the Schomburg covers in there, it's incredible, the stuff he did. And obviously, like, his Cap stuff was really good. But I think for me, my favorite Schomburg stuff is always involved the Human Torch. There's another issue that I really loved where the Human Torch, there's this beach, and you can see all these destroyed tanks and stuff, where you can tell the Torch just flew through all of them and destroyed them. And it's just one of those covers. I was just like, holy shit, man, that's good shit. I may have it screenshotted somewhere in here. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, it was Man Cave that showed that book. Look, I screenshot when I see someone showing off a book that I want, and there it was Man Cave indeed showing off that Nick Cardy Aquaman on Slab Hub. This I'm looking for. I want this book right here. That Neil Adams Tomahawk, man. He did a couple of there's a couple of different covers of Tomahawk that are just phenomenal that I want to have and put on my wall. Yeah, I can't find
That's wild.
Yeah, I knew that was one you wanted, Rob, because I know you're a big sci-fi guy. He likes them space bubble helmet covers. Let me see.
$18 for the photocopy version. You people are dumb.
No, it makes sense because if you get a copy with no cover, a lot of people will buy those just to have a cover on it. Like they have the real book, they don't have a cover for it, so they'll buy it and put it on there.
I don't give a damn. That's weird.
Okay, well, you don't have to. That's how they collect, Nick. Dick.
I don't care. $150 for a glossy cover. It's a reprint or reproduction.
Okay, if I owned a Captain America 1 that didn't have a cover, I guarantee.
No, it's a full reprint, Dustin.
Oh, a full reprint. Okay. Well, I mean,
and if I owned a Captain
look
America,
at the Golden Record reprints right now.
This is some random dude doing it on the internet.
Oh, it's not okay.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This isn't a company doing it. Just like these, it's somebody who just scanned it and.
Well,
yeah. But if I owned a Captain America #1 and didn't have a cover, I sure as hell ain't putting a photocopy over it.
Okay, let's see. Marvel Mystery Comics. See if I can find these Schomburg. Okay, look at this. I don't think this was Schomburg. I don't think this was Schomburg, but like, look at this Torch and Surfer cover, like, or Submariner. Like, he's like ripping this freaking bridge down. Like,
yeah,
Submariner was a badass dude. Look at that, dude. Submariner with that freaking God dog. That is badass. Bill Everett.
Yeah,
that's one you need right there, Man Cave. That right there is killer. That is stellar right there. Top shelf.
I love his ears.
Where is that book? I don't think it was an all winners. It may have been an all winners, though. I can't remember.
Key Collector may be a terrible price guy, but they're a good database. Which ones were you looking at? I was going to show them.
So
the first one's like number 7.
It wasn't either. So I was looking at number 9.
That one?
Yeah, I thought that was cool. But the number 14, like, that's the one. Like, I want an issue 14 of Marvel Mystery Comics.
What's up? Who dat?
Show that number 14.
It's missing.
You bastards. See, this is one reason why I don't like, because it's not a key. That's why. They don't consider it a key, so it's not on there. So go to, like, if you go to like a CLZ.
What are you using now?
I'm using CLZ Comics.
Oh.
They show the whole run. Like, if they don't consider it a key, which is stupid because everything's a key. So why is it not on there? Every book that's ever been printed should be on Key Collector because they're all keys.
Okay, so I can't get to it with
you know, you get the first appearance of Garfield farted in a comic. It's a key, bro. Well, just Google Marvel Mystery Comics 14. This is a book that I will have to find and own, though, which pisses me off because I do not want to get into Golden Age.
That one?
Yes. I just think that is killer, man. I don't know who did this cover, but
It's not loading.
let's see.
It's Alex Schomburg.
Is it Schomburg? Son of a bitch. Well, that means I won't be able to get that.
No.
But yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful cover. I love him with that big ass gun. Look at he got his foot on his throat. The guy down there in the corner. Oh, that's killer, dude.
I always love when they throw comic books on top of comic books. It's the last cover.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his throat on that, or his foot right on that Nazi's throat, bro. He is choking my man out. But I mean, look, you got the parachuters in the back. Him holding that big ass gun right there. That is some kick ass shit, dude.
Yeah.
That is cool. I love this All Winners #2 cover too, with Submariner, Torch, and Cap. It's like that's where it all started, bro.
I love it. I wonder what the GPA is for that one.
Look at this. Look at that. That's even cooler, man. I'm trying to find these that blimp cover to show Nick. I don't remember.
Just Google whatever something blimp. All right, let me share this.
Okay, here it is.
There's no sales of this book in the last.
It's because it doesn't exist, bro. It does not exist.
One recorded sale in 2020.
Oh, it's Marvel Mystery Comics 40.
In 2020, though, in a 5.5, it only sold for $16.80.
Oh, I would buy that all damn day.
That was
so this
2 years
is
ago.
the blimp cover, dude.
Number 40.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
neat.
that's the kind of shit that gets me off, bro.
So weird. All right, let's see the GPA here.
On the blimp cover?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably nuts. That is a known grail.
So a 5.5 only sold for like 8,578 in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but that's still like that's
2,000 for a 1.5. That's not that bad. Yeah. I don't think there's a single live listing though. Yeah, cool.
Well, if anybody sees Marvel Mystery Comics 14 with Submariner holding that big, let me know.
You want to wrap it up or anything else you want to talk about?
No, I do not want to join anyone in the Golden Age. I don't want to play in that era. I cannot do it. I'm barely keeping my head above water in the Silver Age realm.
I'm just wanting mine to come back from grading.
Well, you probably should have fast-tracked them. I mean, yeah.
I'm not in charge, or I wasn't the one submitting them, but neither here nor there.
We got cookies. Marvel Mystery Comics 10.
Dude, yeah, that's what we just went through.
Pretty much anything in that run is really good. It's really good. It's cool stuff.
For sure. I wanted to get into the Batman Golden Age comics for a while. Like I really still like a lot of them, but just dropping $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, per book on a lower grade seems very irresponsible.
Well, the thing that's hard for me on it is like $5,000 on one book from the Golden Age, or like 3 Silver Age that I also really want.
Yeah.
Do I want to check off 1 book or 3 books? Like, that's where I get at.
That's where you get off at.
But like I said, right
Is
now,
Jar Jar.
right now, like I said, I mean, I'm trying to pick up stuff that I've enjoyed reading, and books that are characters that I know about and stuff like that. So, but of course, there's always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Oh, this is cool.
What?
Hold your iPad.
Yeah, or cell phone.
Looks expensive though.
I think I got a 2-pack for like $15. I'm doing that. Who dat?
I don't need one for my iPad though, because I got that Defender case that's actually will sit the iPad up. But for the phone, that would be cool. That actually would have been really helpful when I was doing Whatnot. Why didn't you find these sooner, Nick?
I've had that for well over a year.
Well, you didn't tell me about it. You bastard. Yeah, Golden Age Submariner is always good shit, man. I love it. Do.
He said 2
and 4.
Okay.
2 and 4.
I think he wanted. I don't think he wanted GPA.
He wanted. Yeah, we were looking at covers, Nick.
I'm tired.
Get with the program, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Hell yeah! Look at that. Look at the ship in the background, smoking on fire.
Yeah.
Look, he just back kicked dude right in the jaw. Pow! That's cool, man. I bet that bitch is expensive.
Oh, that sold in 2015.
All right, let's see what number 4 is. I wonder how different the character himself is. And oh yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I wonder if they have any of these in the Marvel Unlimited app.
I wonder how different that Submariner is as a character in the stories in the Golden Age versus when he came in the Silver Age. Like if there's a difference.
The great American flag in the background.
I tell you what, I hate the people that bought it over the last 12 months. I hate it for them, but I hope that FF4 continues to drop, because I would love to have that book. Love to have it, especially with as much as I've enjoyed that character in those stories. I want that annual number 1 too. Really want that annual number 1 too. That would be an awesome one to get. Already got that one. Remember when you didn't have one?
What?
Oh yeah, you still don't.
What?
The Submariner number 1.
Oh yeah, that's not that big a deal.
You sure do look at them every time you see them. Every time. I don't think there was one day you didn't.
I should have just got that one for $300 and called it good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, dude.
Oh God.
We got the party in the house. Party in the house. Woo woo. There's been a lot of cool Submariner covers too. Like there's one. It's a modern cover from the Something Supreme. Me and Russell talk about it all the time. He's got one. But it's like a really hard to find variant.
Is Dan still in the chat?
He's like sitting on this throne, and he just looks tough as shit. Actually, I think I have that one screenshotted too. Anytime I see a book and I'm like, I want to look into that, or I want to save this to check out and get later. Like I really want this, dude. It's a Clayton Crane. Look at this Doom and Red Skull.
That is sick.
It's killer as hell, dude. What is that Submariner book? Squadron Supreme. That's what it's called.
There you go, Dan. You have your blue wrench now. You're welcome.
Use the hell out of it. Here it is right here. Look at this cover, dude. That's just a cool ass cover, dude.
Squadron Supreme 13.
Yeah. Dude just looks tough as hell right there, man. He reminds me of Bootstrap Bill from the Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, once they become, you know, part of the crew, part of the ship, part of the crew, part of the ship. He's got like barnacles on the side of his face and stuff. Like that is just kick ass looking, man.
Yeah.
I hope this Tanakh guy brings this demeanor and this attitude to the Submariner.
I had the FF Annual 3 and sold it to Justin. Sands has one for sale.
What's up, bro? You know what I'm saying?
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Or you want to call it night? It's almost midnight.
Oh, Russ was saying Sands one has for sale. Which one? This book or the FF Annual 1? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I hope that Tanakh guy brings that Submariner attitude to the character on the screen. Like that's the only important part to me.
Yeah.
You know, I was upset because they hadn't released anything that said that he was going to be a water-based character. We know now that's going to happen. Awesome. Now I need to see if they bring in some weak-ass Submariner. Nah, Submariner is everything but weak. This guy better come in with that and be an outright total asshole all the way.
He literally is everything the feminist movement hates. Cocky, toxic, hates women unless it's not hates women, but like he needs to be nasty as a human being.
He's a mean dude. He's tough.
You know what I mean?
He come in there and dude, Submariner is the
will
original.
Clayton Crane your wife.
He is the original Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I'm saying? He. That's why I love that issue 9, and I had that book before I read it.
Yeah.
But I mean, he goes through the whole process of putting the whole Fantastic Four in different areas to try to kill them off, just to steal Sue Storm. And he's so slick, she still defends his ass and won't let him beat him up when they get free. And she knew he did that.
Yeah. That's wild, dude.
He said, "Hey, I killed all your boys off so that we can get married. What's up?" And they get out, and she's like, "No, you can't. Come on now. He's not a bad guy." Oh my God! You can't tell me at some point we don't get a story about the comic issue you didn't see, where Submariner actually, and then you find out like he really did dick Sue Storm down in one issue at some point. Like, we need that issue. Like, there's an illegitimate child between Submariner and Sue Storm.
Sounds like some stuff Dan Slott would write.
Oh.
Clayton Crane wants to find love in your town. By the way, does anybody know if that guy's still okay and like at least alive?
Who?
The Clayton Crane guy that had his wife
I
still
don't
in?
know.
If not, somebody needs to do a wellness check. That was so sad. From just a human level, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, what else? Anything else?
Well, I hope, I know we've had a lot of you that are still watching have been here from the beginning, so I hope that this was a constructive and fun conversation to have.
This has been way better than just crapping on She-Hulk, and I feel much happier afterwards.
That's what I was saying.
I want to just go and read Fantastic Four now.
That's what I was saying. I think regardless of whether people actually give a shit to watch, like, I mean, this is the conversations we need to have, is just talking about the books and shit, because that's what we like to do. So the experiment's over. However, I will not retract my statement about Top Gun Maverick being the greatest movie I've ever seen. It just is.
John's Comics with Kid will be proud. Somebody tell John's Comics with Kids he needs to come watch the show. We're reformed. And on that note, I think we should go read some Fantastic Four.
We might just get in here and play down some N64.
I'm about to pass out. We can hook it up, but you may be the one playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's 12. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get out of here by about 9 o'clock my time. So
that's about 8. Yeah. So
yeah.
And you need to actually spend some time resting.
Yeah, no. Glitter and duct tape. Thanks for hanging out.
We really appreciate it. Honestly, we appreciate all of you people. Yeah. All of you wonderful folks. See, look, and we're like Tinder for old males who love comic books. Look at that, Dan and male 6565. Don't be offended by that if that got you guys weird. Not Tinder where
Bubs,
find your comic friends.
Bring back the no faces, bro. Like, look, see, check this out. Watch, Bubs, I got it. Hold on. I gotta do an interview for a job real quick.
If I do mine, I'm wearing the Mando mask, so you guys.
I gotta do an interview for a job real quick, dude.
What are you looking for? Do you want this?
All right, so here we go. I'm doing an interview for a job. You ready? All right, so but you got to get your freaking face out of the camera, Nick. You're ruining it. You're ruining it.
I'm not moving. I'm tired.
Don't love on your comics. Got it. Hey, but what if they're graded, Rob? What if they're graded? Because technically, they you're using protection, and they should still be okay afterwards. You just wipe them off. I see. You can't just blanket that, Rob.
You guys are the best part of Two Brothers Comics.
You gotta remember there's options out here.
Good night.
That we're not thinking about.
Thank you so much.
With graded comics, because they're protected
by